And welcome to another episode of the Good Keyboard Friends podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Hubert the Mad. I'm with Tanghus, one of the best Danes in the world. I'm with Simon, and I'm with the greatest Aussie designer of our generation and anybody else's generation, Jono. Welcome, Jono. Welcome.
I don't know if I'd call myself the greatest, silliest perhaps.
Oh no, you're definitely the greatest when it comes to some things.
Yeah.
Like
the largest.
Yes.
For most, that is most definite. It is large, is a way that I would put it. Well, okay,
larger than life.
All right, like I feel like people don't know who Jono really is. Like most people would know him for like GMK Regal, which was like that purple key set that that group buy runner was just like, no, I'm gonna have like 260 keys in the base kit. Oh, we're not gonna hit MOQ. It's fine. I'll just buy them. Yeah, that was Jono.
Yeah,
you guys remember?
I mean, I didn't actually end up having to buy that many of the base kit. So I had to buy it. I bought them up to 500 MOQ, and I think I bought about 40 units.
Okay, so
which wasn't that bad.
Oh yeah, so you guys did well sales wise, and he also did the Wombat, which is a very how do I say this elegantly? Oh baby,
practical
that booty,
and portable keyboard.
Juicy with the fucking. Oh, and you sent me a prototype tungsten knob. The knob alone weighs like 80 grams or something, which is insane.
I think it weighs 105.
Oh,
or at least some of them do. I think I did end up getting one that was 105. I can't remember how much the one I sent you was.
Okay, well maybe I'm like misremembering because I also have a brass one and a steel one.
Oh, yeah, boy. The steel ones are a fair bit lighter. I don't actually have the Wombat on my desk at the moment. I'm in a new location for this financial year. Thanks to a contract.
Yeah, so, what have you been up to? You've been like mostly disappeared.
Yeah. So basically, Kangaroo happened, and that's kind of done. I mean, there's still a bunch of them on Keyboard Treehouse. But I mean, you can get one if you want. I wasn't able to get the brass one working because.
Do you know like ballpark what they cost if people want to pick them up like today?
700 AUD, but I can probably get Aeric to knock him down a bit. I don't know.
Oh my god, what
700 AUD isn't bad.
Yeah, that's like what, $450 US?
Yeah. Do they still do free shipping?
Oh, I have no clue. I've been busy as hell. So, yeah, that happened, and then there was a whole bunch of stuff to do with work. I had a previous contract that was going off, and I had this one, which required me to move to Brisbane, which is like 1,000 k's away from home. So did a few drives back and forth to move some stuff up here. So yes, I'm quite light on. I've only got about 8 keyboards at the moment.
Okay, I was going to ask because I hope you've packed the essential 9, 8 keyboards.
In the office. Yeah, I mean some of them are built, some of them aren't built. The one that I'm using at the moment is.
Oh my god!
What in the fuck? This is the one that I built, gorgeous. And then there's another one that I didn't build. That's sitting back in Sydney.
Is that the WTF or is that the Mountain or is that there's like 4 of those that are very similar?
It's the WTF.
Okay.
Or WITF. But yeah, so I bought 2 of those when they were coming out.
No way.
Then it took me forever to build them because I had a whole bunch of... But I usually buy 2 of things that I like because then I can build one and then I can put one on a shelf and forget that I own it.
Yep.
And, have delusions about selling it in the future and then I realize I hate selling to people.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect because like years down the line, like you have like the ultimate fucking piece to like sell to a friend for like a good price. Because like basically like... At the end, you want it to go to like somebody that you know is really gonna fucking like the board, not somebody that's gonna like keep it on a shelf, never build it, and then maybe fucking flip it. You want somebody that's like super into it. So like parking it buys you that time. I like it conceptually.
Yeah, I did that with my unicorns actually. I got 2 of the a unicorn when that run was going on, and then I gave one away in a giveaway on the Australian Keyboards Discord.
Fuck yeah.
And then I sold the other one at cost to a mate. So.
Nice. Wow. Okay,
I'm just bad with money in general.
I mean, Jono's known for his big keyboard enjoyment, and
other big things that he enjoys.
I mean, listen, talk is cheap. The man actually went and just buys doubles of huge motherfucking keyboards. Oh, I'd love one of those like massive fuck off Alice's. But like I have yet to like.
I mean, I've got one.
I have yet to figure out like the one with like the specific layout that I like the most, but I fucking love it. I'm pretty sure like of all of them, it's just gonna be like I like the biggest one. It's
this one is pretty good. I am a bit down on the right hand arrow cluster now after using the left hand one for so long. Actually, let me. So this.
Oh, the OG box.
Yep, these were actually made by some like ancient dude in Western Australia. They're made out of native Australian hardwood, and that's hand burned on top.
Wow.
I was gonna get him to do a set. The plan was to get him to do a set for the run of Wombat, but he was like, "Dude, I'm like 85 years old. I'm not fucking taking that work on." And I was like, "Okay, fair enough." So yeah, this one's a bit dusty. This is actually the original Kangaroo prototype.
Oh my god.
The very first one that I ever got done. In Australia. And put this A cap back on. So yeah, it's half brass and rose gold plating on the bottom, hand polished, and then the top is black chrome, I think.
Yeah.
This one was a nightmare to get done and assembled, partially because I forgot to put in the tolerances for depleting. So it was basically mechanically perfect when I got it unplated, and then I plated it, and I had to assemble it with...
Isn't good electroplating supposed to be like, what, like 50 nanometers max?
It was friction fit when I got it machined. It was very good machining.
Wow.
Okay, but that's just bad design at that point. That's on you.
Yeah, as I said, it was on me. It was my fuck up. This was the very first keyboard I ever got made.
Okay, fair.
It went together with a Dremel and a hammer, right? So it's fine. It's never coming apart.
To be fair, that is like on the range, not as bad as it gets when it comes to getting a proto. I know people that got protos that don't even fit together, even with a fucking hammer.
Yeah, so that ended up costing about 18,000 AUD.
Jesus.
Which, again, my fault for specifying it incorrectly. I said I want the machining as perfect as you can get it, so they took a long time to machine it. And as I said, it was basically friction fit, which is really incredible when you consider the size of the parts. But yeah, cost-wise. What else have I got here?
Oh my god.
Got a full brass Mars 65 with the Godspeed Mars on it. So this one's about 8 kilo-ish, something like that. So I've had this one for a while, actually. I got it from a mate who was like, this keyboard's way too fucking heavy. Does anybody want it? I said, me. So I bought it off him for a few $100.
Oh, okay. Have you looked into the full brass glare, by the way?
No, I haven't.
Because like the glare like out of the factory was like 4.4 kilos, and like I pushed for them to like replace the mid piece from aluminum to brass, and you could push it up like another 1.5 kilos. It was real nice.
Let's see. So here is my first proper custom, which is the A board's Aegis. Wow. So I think.
Oh yeah, the one that uses Illuminati blue.
Yeah, it's special Aeric blue. You're not allowed to use it if you're not Aeric.
Yeah, it's Illuminati blue.
He has this blue copyrighted.
Well, I mean, oh no. Yeah, I mean, I literally send them photos of the Aegis, and I'm like, I want that color.
You want this one?
But then I always fuck with Aeric, and I'm like, that's Illuminati blue, bro. He's like, no, it's not. But it is Illuminati blue. 533C is Illuminati blue.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What else have I got? I got another few Kangaroos here, different batches of prototypes.
Oh my goodness.
Do I have the full brass one here?
We're like kids in a candy store. This is fucking amazing.
I know, this is
perhaps great. This is it. This is pretty heavy. I don't know what's in here. Oh, yep. This is one of the brass ones. So this one is the one made by Salvin. This is about 9 kilos.
That's the one on the Geek Hack page, right?
Oh, baby.
Yeah, this is the one that Mendez built from Tay Keyboards.
That's right.
And he was like, Jono, why did you give me a board this fucking heavy, man? It's so hard to maneuver. And I said, weak wrists to him. Okay, and then as I said, I got another couple of kangaroos around here. Oh, I did bring up this one.
Oh, please be what I
just
think
see
it
the
is.
chair going.
Yeah, so with box, this is about 40 kilos.
Okay, I know what this is. Yes.
I can't hold it.
It's not that heavy. Okay.
Not that heavy.
That's not a keyboard. This is a keyboard.
Oh my god, there it is.
We'll
See,
just pop
this
on the
board is
desk.
why I always
The
imagined
room just shook, guys. That wasn't just the camera. The room also shook.
the neighbor downstairs is now sitting wondering why is it?
I'm shook.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So this is the full brass Wombat.
I want that so much.
You say that? But you really don't.
No, I do.
Because I have it.
When I have a desk specifically for it, that is specifically.
Oh no, this will just
for
sit
that
on an
one.
IKEA desk and not break it.
No. I mean, no other keyboard dare trespass on that desk. It is a desk where I will only ever use that keyboard.
The shrine.
I'll probably I'd have it with a laptop USB-C station where I plug it in and I pops up on the monitor and I can use that keyboard with whatever I want. That'd be dope.
Look at that. Oh,
there we go.
the best.
So, this is actually a bit heavier than it should be. So the base keyboard by itself is 27.5 kilograms unbuilt.
Oh my god.
This has a full set of the Salvin brass keycaps. They're about 50 grams each. There's 64 of those on there, which is another 3.2 kilos of keycaps. That brings up to about 30 kilos.
Don't forget
Full set of tungsten knobs across the top. So each is about 105-ish grams. So that's another 2 kilos of knobs. So this by itself weighs about 35, 36 kilograms.
Holy
The
fuck.
box is about 10, so it's actually about 45 kilos.
Can you just say 2 kilos of knobs again?
2 kilos of knobs. But yeah, so this one I actually built
I'm
for
in heaven,
one of the
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit impractical. It's not
No,
it's not the best to take to the office
Yeah.
on the
listen.
regular.
Listen, it is perfectly practical.
The thing
It
is
just
great
needs-
to take to the office.
It just needs the right user, okay? It is perfectly practical.
Well, by practical, I mean I've only taken one Wombat to the office once, and that was one of the aluminium ones. I just kind of left it there until I left that office because I was like, I'm not fucking doing that again.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on with that. I need to give it a bit of a polish down, but yeah, overall, this one I built for taking to one of the Sydney keyboard meetups, and I just had it on the desk, and I was like, feel free to lift it, and everybody did. It was very funny watching a bunch of skinny keyboard nerds come up to it and be like, how heavy can this possibly be? And the answer is very.
The answer is yes.
So it's not currently on the desk. I also have another unbuilt one in one of the cupboards back there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's basically the keyboards that I've got up here. Hey, don't give me that look. I have asked for your address several times. I was like, I'll send you one.
Well,
And
now I
who has
actually
not given
have
me his address?
Now I have another address. I'm in a completely different continent now.
Yeah, but think about how much more difficult your move would have been if you had to move like a 20 kilogram, half-meter long keyboard.
To be fair, we had a whole ass container, so it could have gone right in.
Oh my god.
Oh, well, there we go. But yeah, skill issue on your part. You've had the offer available for one of these since I made it.
I haven't been ready. I feel like after I do the 21XX, I'm gonna be ready for something that big.
You gotta tease it in, right? You gotta tease it in.
Yeah, I got about 6 of them left unbuilt. So let me know when you want one.
Yeah.
It will.
For the
It will
record,
only be in.
I am not building an aluminum one. Okay.
You want a brass one?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my
I will have to get another brass one made because The material for this was $6,000.
There goes your
Admittedly-
motorcycle. Sell the motorcycle again, Simon.
It's not
Get your money
even
back.
worth that much.
Admittedly, that was because I was buying German brass.
Oh,
So I bought brass from Germany, and then I got it air freighted to Australia, and then I got it machined over here.
oh wow.
So it was 123 kilograms of brass for the top and bottom, and then there was the plate, which was another 5 or 6 kilos of brass. So you lose a lot of brass making keyboards.
Yeah,
oh my God.
you do.
123 kilos.
Yep,
Holy cow.
it was 261.5 kilogram chunks.
Oh my God.
They were.
Welcome to
They
machining.
came on a thing, a little half pallet. I was able to pick one of them up. But-
Amazing.
It was, it was a lot.
What,
The guys who made it were very cross with me. They were like, "This is so fucking annoying."
that's
So
your problem.
that's
Yeah,
That's going to be one of the big problems if I want to get another one made.
yeah. Uh-huh.
The shop won't do it again.
Well, no. So to get it made in Australia, they priced high on this
Hmm.
because you cannot fuck it up because the material cost is so high. So they were like, we're going to have to take a whole bunch of extra time with it. Getting it made in China is theoretically possible.
Mhm.
Also quite expensive, and a lot of shops are just not going to want to take it on.
Yeah,
I mean, the all aluminium one is still like 14 kilograms. So
Jesus.
when it's built,
What was the and you don't have to give it away if it's like trade secret or something, but what was the reason of sourcing it from Germany? The
because
material?
his
because
balls are large, and he wanted to chase nonsense perfection. I was like, if I buy, okay, go
you
ahead.
say that, that's not the case. Nowhere closer that wasn't China stocked the brass in the
Wow.
size that I needed that had English websites. I'm sure that I could have found it somewhere else.
Why would
but,
you
like,
not
nowhere
buy from
else.
China though?
Because
China's
I was
right
like-
there. Alibaba.
Okay, so it
bruh.
was the whole design philosophy and the whole purpose, right? The Kangaroo and the Wombat were. Everybody in Australia was like, you cannot make keyboards in Australia. And I was like, have you tried? And everybody's like, oh, no, I haven't tried.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you can't do it. And it's like, okay, well, how can you say you can't do it if you haven't tried? So I was like, all right, I am going to try this. I'm going to get as much as I can Australian sourced. I mean, surely some of it eventually came from China. So all the PCBs for the prototypes were made in Australia. We have a single PCB manufacturer who is really good, but
Yeah.
like I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen some of the pictures of the original prototype PCBs, and I'd have to dig them up, but those things were works of art. Looked fantastic. Very expensive because they're the only ones, so they make a lot of stuff for like aerospace and the military and stuff like that. So I was working at an emergency services aircraft place, and I kept hearing their name, which was Lintech, and I was like, "Oh, you guys get from Lintech too?" And they're like, "Yeah, they're the only guys we can because they're all certified with all the things, and they were actually using the same assembly service that I used for some of the PCBs as well." So I was like, "Oh, small world it is." So the PCBs were made in Australia. They were assembled in Australia. The things were sourced wherever possible in Australia. The materials, the machining was done in Australia, and the finishing was done in Australia. So for the tungsten was not possible to source in Australia. That was sourced from China. I was going to source it from America, but America is just like an interface layer on top of China and charging you 10 times as much. So I was like, nah, fuck that. The material for those knobs was still expensive. So I got about 50 knobs made, and the material cost was $900.
Oh my God.
Not including shipping.
Yeah.
So tungsten very expensive, but I got a quote from America, and it was like, oh yeah, that'll be $4,000. I was
What was the difference in terms of machining costs when you got to work with something as hard as tungsten? How do they do it?
very little.
Really?
Like the machining cost was basically the same. So tungsten is, so it's not pure tungsten. It's like a tungsten alloy. So there's tungsten nickel iron and tungsten nickel copper. The shop that I worked with said that it was basically the same as machining cast iron. So they just use
that's
the
real soft.
Yeah, so it's gritty and it's dense, but it's not like giga hard.
Okay.
They ran it like a bit slower than cast iron.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
it's mostly the material costs that drive it up.
Wow.
I think they actually gave me the same machining price for brass, stainless steel, and tungsten.
Because like I've always wondered why nobody's done the blatantly obvious meme of tungsten weight, like a drop in tungsten weight.
Because it's so expensive. So I got those were just like rods, so they were like 20 millimeter rods, and they were 300 millimeters long each, and they were $300
Fuck.
just for the piece. And
you
it's
already had
basically
it.
sold.
Oh fuck, that's wild.
Yeah. Like I did get a quote for the pieces that I would need to make a kangaroo and to make a wombat out of tungsten. So the pieces for the kangaroo were going to be, I think, $6,000 and $7,500 for the bottom and top, and the pieces for the wombat would have been $28,000 each.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
Bruh.
So yeah, the reason why nobody has done that, I mean, I was considering doing that meme, but I was like, I don't have any keyboards with built-in weight. Like I do have a design for the kangaroo that has built-in weight. I did that not too long ago, and there's one of them sitting at a mate's place at the moment.
Wait,
Actually,
you don't have a single keyboard with an internal like brass weight or something?
well, not ones that I designed. Like,
Okay.
I was just like, why would I make a brass weight when I can just make the entire bottom out of brass?
So fucking awesome.
Like, it's simpler on the machining. You're already spending a lot on the brass costs because you need, if it's one of those full internal weights, like the ones that covers the entire thing, you pretty much need a piece of brass almost the same dimensions as your bottom piece anyway. So it's like, okay, so I'm buying a whole piece of aluminium, and I'm throwing most of it away, and then I'm buying a whole piece of brass, and I'm throwing most of it away, and I'm paying a whole bunch of extra money for all these machining costs.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks cooler because you get like the little brass bit shining through, but it's lighter and hella more expensive.
Something that I want to ask real quick is you brought up how a lot of people were saying to you that, oh, you can't make keyboards in Australia, like even if they've never made it. Was it kind of like a sense of pride that made you want to try and make boards in Australia, or just as many things possible in Australia? Like, fuck
So
it, I'll give
a
it a
lot
try.
of people that were saying it were 40s users, and I fucking hate 40s users. So okay, so the Australian
I love
keyboard
Jono so
server.
fucking much.
It's so
Fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
So the Australian keyboard server has people divided by state. So we've got a different color for each of the states, and they have their own specific channel. And then there's like New South Wales is blue name, Queensland is green names. I think Perth is like orange names or something like that. Yellow, actually. Perth is yellow. And by Perth, I mean Western Australia, but like it's like
Perth.
a third of the size of Australia, and it's Perth and then a whole bunch of desert that I've never met anybody who lives there.
Yeah.
The snakes live there.
Yeah. Then purple is, Tasmania, is Victoria, and then there's the red names. Red names comes from South Australia. I don't know if you know anything about South Australia, but funnily enough, most of the 40s users are from South Australia, which will tell you everything you need to know about South Australia.
Yeah, there's something in the water there that's converting everyone into weebs.
It's not even that. It's just like to give you an example, I was on a trip down to South Australia with a bunch of sort of work colleagues / friends, and they were doing winery tours. I don't know why I went with them because I was not a vegan like the rest of them. I wasn't into essential oils like the rest of them, and I don't like wine. So I was like, okay, this is a weird trip that I've ended up on.
You don't like wine at all?
No, I don't like the taste, and I
damn.
also don't like the hangovers it gives me.
He's a VB man.
I will get wasted on like cider, I'll be fine. I'll be hungover, but it won't be too bad. I'll get wasted on like hard liquor, and then I'll be hungover, but it won't be too bad. I get wasted on wine, and then the next morning I'm just like,
I know, I feel you. Yeah, red wine will do that to me. I'm okay with like white wine, but like red wine is just like headache juice.
Yeah, and it just tastes off to me.
I mean, I'll like a nice wine.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've tried a lot of wines. Like I've I know a lot of people who are winos, so they're like, oh, well, you haven't tried this wine, and then they'll give me another glass of off grape juice, and I'm like, it still tastes like shit, man. Like, I
Feels
don't know,
fucking bad.
just like, I'll just have a water. Like, stop trying to convert me by giving me your expensive wines. Like, it's wasted on me. Just accept that I don't like it. But anyway, I was on this trip, and we were on like this bus, and the bus stopped. Bus stopped at a lookout, looking out over, Adelaide, which is the only city in South Australia. It's like a big town. And another car pulls up, and I was just looking at this guy, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And one of the people in the bus was like, I bet they have weed. Jumped out of the bus, ran across, and bought some weed.
That's fucking amazing.
So yeah, that's the kind of place that South Australia is. Anyway, so the red names in South Australia, lots of 40s users, and they were, I wouldn't say the majority, but a lot of them were people who were very down on the idea of Australian manufacturing. I was like, I'm just going to fucking show these guys it is possible. Yeah. Took a long time, a lot of rejection from machine shops because they're like, this isn't industrial, this isn't like, aircraft or mining. I don't know what to do with this. Had to do the finishing separately because most shops in Australia are machining only. So they're like, we will machine you a part. It'll be good. We'll do casting, whatever, but we won't finish it. Like, there's no polishing, there's no anodizing, no nothing. So I had to figure out a place that was going to anodize it. And the majority of places that anodize in Australia are just for like industrial style finish. So they're like, it preserves the material. We'll dunk it in a thing. We won't polish it. We won't anything. So I had to source separate blasting places. And again, it's all industrial. So they're like, yeah, we'll clean your metal. And I'm like, okay, how consistent can you get your finish? And they're like, what's consistency of finish? So all sorts of problems with that. I did end up getting one acceptable anodized sample made in Australia. But that was, it went to like a specific hydroblaster in Melbourne, not a sandblaster, but it's hydroblasting, which is like little glass beads suspended in water, and they blast it like that, so it gives a more consistent finish overall. And then it went to a separate finisher. But yeah, so basically they were like, can't be done. I was like, I bet you it can be done. And $200,000 later, I was like, it can be done, but just don't do it.
Man, the balls on this guy. Like real quick, this may be a tangent, this may not be a tangent, but for me personally, and I think a lot of people in the keyboard community, even though we may have different opinions on what we like and don't like, the guts and just the gumption to fucking have a goal and do whatever you can do to get to that goal. Doesn't matter if someone's told you it's impossible. Doesn't matter how many steps you have to take to get it there. You're like, no, fuck it. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to make a keyboard as much in Australia as possible. That's to be commended. Like, this is why we love you, Jono. I mean,
to be fair, like the premise behind it is good. Don't let your memes be dreams, but also don't go and spend $200,000 trying to do memes.
Don't do that.
Jono went too far. All right,
This is very fortunate.
You can go like 22% as far as he did. That's the correct amount of too far.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that I am in a financial position that allowed me to do this, but absolutely don't do this. There is a reason why everything is made in China. I understand that a lot of governments are doing their political, we'll bring back manufacturing. And I'm like, we've got a long, long way to go, because the process in China was they got the files, they checked it, they were like, okay, we can have this ready for you in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And then they shipped in 4 weeks. And so I got 100 units of Kangaroo. The B stock rate was 1%. And that B stock was me being extremely picky. It was like in very specific lighting conditions on very certain angles. One of the bottom pieces was slightly inconsistent in color. Everything else, I could not find a single flaw on it. Like in a place that would be visible. Like there were some little marks and stuff in places that wouldn't be visible when the keyboard was assembled, and in some of the screw holes, it was like, okay, well, I can see it. There's a little bit of stuff around the edge, like the internal screw holes for holding the plate to the top piece.
Yeah.
But the overall quality was wildly good, and the consistency of finish across those 100 pieces was so good as well. But I think there was one where I was like, I think I'm going to need to find a matching top piece for this bottom because I think this one's slightly off, and I found it. So
Wow.
painless, fast, wildly cheaper, and yeah, so absolutely zero hate to anybody who is manufacturing stuff in China. It is the only practical way to do things at the moment. Maybe things will change in the future, but for now, it's just good business. As that one, was it Norrington or something said in Pirates of the Caribbean? Reaching for a reference there.
Is that the guy with the monkey? Oh no, it's
no, it's the evil it's the evil British guy.
Yeah.
The big bad guy of the Pirates of the Caribbean, which is capitalism.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
Capitalism. Okay, speaking of capitalism, Jono, like we know you're doing well. What do you do for a living? Do you like make rocket ships or something?
No, I wish it was something that interesting. I am a senior IT business analysis guy. So basically, I go to meetings, I write documents, I try and act as a translation layer between normal people in a business, so like your salespeople, your front of line, your executives who do the ideation, and the developers who actually make stuff. So you'll get a thing that's like, it would be good if we had automated refunds, and it's like, okay, well, what do we mean by automated refunds? Because we're not going to be automatically refunding everybody, no matter if we ship their goods or not. It's like, what's the conditions under which a refund comes in? What are the automated logic that you want to apply to it? Like, what, once we've got that automated logic, there's going to be certain things where it's like, okay, this needs to go to manual review.
Okay, so it's scoping, it's like broad level architecture. Stuff like that.
It's sort of like a bit up from the architecture. There's architects who do the architecture stuff.
Okay.
It's one of those, I'll call it like deep jobs, which is you need to explain several layers of how project management works before my job makes any sense. So it's mostly when people are like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I do IT project stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do that as a sort of consultant. So that's where the money comes from. Goes into keyboards.
Yeah. So we're gonna have I don't know if you've ever had the privilege of talking to him, but someone by the name of Moods. I think he may be in the
I think we've chatted briefly on some various things. I think he was the one who I sent a bunch of stuff for one of the keyboard giveaways. I think I just had a bunch of random crap and was like, here you go, man.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And a bunch of GMK and some other stuff.
Yeah. And the reason why I bring that up is, and you sent him like a trunk full of so many GMK things. This guy's a fucking legend.
Yeah, we're literally still struggling to give it away today.
I mean, look.
We haven't even started, to be frank.
Yeah, Simon has it. Simon has us all just. You can see down there. That's where the United States.
No. Simon doesn't have it all. We have it all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have nothing.
At this point, that was like a fraction of one of the shelves that I have full of GMK, and I needed to get rid of it because I had more GMK coming in, and I had nowhere to put it.
See, that's when you get more shelves, bro. You're doing it wrong.
I have 4 sets of industrial shelves, 6 shelves each.
Oh my god.
Those are all full, and I have no more room to put more shelves in my storage place.
Okay, but vertically speaking, how much space is there between the very top shelf and your ceiling? Like, what do you got? Like a meter, 2?
It's full.
Fuck.
So it is floor to ceiling. The ceilings are about 2.5 meters high, so it's floor to ceiling. The shelves are about 1 meter and 1.8 meters wide and 600 mil deep. So
feels bad.
6 foot by 2 foot by, I don't know, too many feet. A bunch of feet.
How many?
24 bushels.
Yeah. 3 washing machines.
And 3 washing machines in height.
6 cubits.
Yeah, so some of that is books, but I think two of those shelving units are pretty much solely dedicated to keyboards, GMK. As I think I mentioned earlier, I think I've got like 40 plus keyboards at the moment floating around. A lot of those are prototypes of various things. So I have about 10 Wombats sitting there, which takes up a lot of space. I've got, I think, like 50 to 80 GMK sets, not including duplicates, which I bought for various things. I've got several hundred Salvins and Ramas. I've got dozens of knobs. I've got thousands of switches. I've also got a whole bunch of other non-GMK stuff that just goes in big boxes because I'm like, it's not GMK, it's whatever.
I put my GMK in bags and throw them in boxes along with everything else. I let them mingle. It's okay. I just separate the beige from the non-beige.
The boring.
And then the beige gets all together like a...
Yeah, you just mix up all of your beige sets. The beige mystery box, just like...
Well, no, I mean, everything's
put
in
20
bag.
beige sets in there, just in one box, shake it up, and then be like, all right, the first letter that I find for each one is what's going on this keyboard.
Yeah.
Good luck ever separating those.
Low key, my key set collection is already far beyond that point. There are so many parts of so many different key sets that I know are missing that I'm cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have every part of every keycap set that I've ever bought, because I keep them all in JTK trays when I take them out of the GMK trays.
That's smart.
So I have lots of those. They're a little bit more compact, and they're not made of potato.
I remember one of the streams that Simon did recently. He was trying to find a beige set, and like somehow you got DCS. Oh no, you got GMK 9009. And then you had another beige set somehow with like space bars for Alice space bars or something. All I know, dude, is one of these days we have to help you rearrange your beige, Simon.
I really need to like organize my shit. Like I moved my shit across the planet. None of it is organized though. The mover is just like grabs everything, put it in a container, unpacked everything, put it down where I told them to.
Yeah.
So like I'm in the same amount of shambles, but now like all the shit is in different places. And like we did pack up some things, like boards all went into like hard cases and boxes. We don't know where the cipher is. I don't know where half my fucking board. I don't even know how many boards I own. I don't fucking know, dude.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a bit like that.
I mean, organization is easy. You just go like, oh, I want a base key set, and then you just go.
Okay, wait. Here, I'll show you guys something.
Oh no.
We do talk about how much in shambles the rest of the room is.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And my stuff is only organized because I cannot fit it if it's disorganized. So I have to reorganize every now and then so that I can actually fit more stuff in.
All right, so this is my box of beige. This weighs about 20 kilos, ballpark.
Oh man.
But it's all organized and labeled. See, that one doesn't have a label on it.
We've fallen over at the first hurdle.
See, that one has like a little bit of Sharpie there that like somebody maybe tried to write something like GG motherfucker, good luck.
That wasn't
So
intent.
I do have a question here.
Okay, this one is labeled. That says 2551 number 2. So that's the second set.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell me, which keyboard is the first set and which has the second, but don't worry about it.
If people ever wonder, this is what ADHD looks like.
What do you... No.
Yes.
I don't have that. All right, wait. Let me put this away. I won't be able to hear you for a sec.
All right.
Look at this man with his wired headphones.
Oh my god. After you
Actually,
ask
I'm
your
the only
question-
one here with wireless.
I need he needs
Allegedly.
wireless. He wants a set of wireless. But go ahead and ask your question, Jono.
Yeah. I was going to say, so this is no hate on beige. Like, I'm not much of a beige guy myself. I got a couple of sets. Like, is there that much difference between all the different sets?
Yes.
Because, like, really? Because mostly when I look at beige sets, right, like, let's say you got beige sets from GMK. They're like, this set is beige, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, it's a beige set with black, black double shot. And then somebody else is like, oh, this is my beige set, and it's like, okay, it's a beige set with black double shot and almost the same layout, you've just got a couple of keys different. And I'm like, I I don't see the difference.
There
Yeah.
isn't. Beige is just beige. Like beige is
Yeah.
like to some point interchangeable.
Yeah.
Like realistically, if like all of the keycaps in that beige box were like, I don't know, like all the exact same row height and the same exact mold, then yeah, of course they're interchangeable. It's fine. Like I have a lot of sets of beige because like I like PBT and
I see.
reverse die sub is dog shit. Double shot PBT. I mean, Leopold does it well. Keychron's doing it well. That's pretty much it. And when I say well, we're not talking like GMK levels, right? So you've got ABS for like double shot. At that point, yeah, colors, but like beige is nice. You get a nice clean die sub, reminiscent of an OG set. You know, you get more international themed ones. Like I've got a
That's true.
German key set on. You know, like QWERTZ instead of
Yeah.
Y. You know, I don't know that there's fun to it, but like
That's
it's
fair.
yeah.
I do know some people who will argue until they're blue in the face that all of their beige sets are wildly different. I'm just looking at
I
them
mean,
and I'm
some are
like, maybe
different.
this is like my
my
shit color
CRP.
perception.
No, like my CRP is different than my ABS, you know, or my Xiaomi is different than some other PBT.
Yeah, like
It's,
different
they're physically
manufacturers,
different.
like
Yeah.
absolutely, like different manufacturers, different, you know,
Yeah.
like the double shot versus, you know,
But there's
triple shot versus
but
the
there's
other
also
things.
like the die sub quality, right? So there's like the quality of the keycap, then you got the quality of the die sub. So like I like CRP because like the quality of the die sub is quite good. Then you've got like BSP where the quality of the die subs is dog shit, but the quality of the blanks is excellent. You know?
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
you take what you can get.
I mean, I
Much-
can't talk much seeing as I have so much fucking GMK Regal. I should probably sell
my
some
God.
of those, but
I'm
actually- do you guys know the story behind that one?
No. I just wanted to show off that here's my GMK Regal. But
You
don't.
should.
Thanks for buying. I
Yay.
made negative money on that set.
Oh no!
Oh, you don't say. We could have never have foreseen this.
No, even if I didn't buy anything, yeah. So GMK Regal's got a bit of a story behind it. So, originally I bought off Fatty from DC Phantom. That was years and years and years ago, and I really liked the set. And I was like, you know, what would be better if I had two of these. So I tried to message Briano, which is why I'm a little bit annoyed that he responded to, what is it, Vis, who did the R2 for it.
VC,
So I spent, a bunch of time messaging him, and there were actually some other people in the Australian community who reached out and were like, hey, if you get in contact with him, let him know that I've still got stuff that he bought off me and he's not responding to me now and I can't ship it to him. So yeah, I tried to contact him, couldn't get into contact with him, and I was like, okay, fine. So I guess I'm not doing Phantom 2 because I can't get permission. I was, like, oh, maybe I could, and some of the keycap
Have you heard anything? Because like my going theory is like the guy died.
No. He gave permission for Vis to do it, and I was able to contact him at that point. So he is alive. He's just like not responding to anybody who isn't Vis, I guess. I don't know, but whatever the reason, some of the I briefly went down the dark path, which was like, what if I just do it without permission?
if you ever see this, I have your ISO, the one that you ordered at Group Buy. We tried to ship it to you, and it was returned to us twice. We tried to email you. We tried to call you. We tried to figure out people who know you. We still have your unit. It's not with me. It's with Sam. And Sam and I are estranged. But I'll get back in contact with Sam, and we'll get you your ISO. Just reach out to us. It's still yours. Okay. I thought you died, and I'm gonna keep it forever.
Are you in the Room 181 Discord?
I am, but I don't think Simon is.
Yeah, so I've been saying it Vis, but it's like VHEISSU.
Yeah, I don't know.
The guy there, message him and because he was the guy who got in contact with Brian, so maybe he still has his contact details. But yeah, no, there were multiple stories like that. It was just like he bought stuff and then just dipped. So yeah, I couldn't get into contact with him. Briefly went down.
I understand like not answering like DMs, but like packages getting returned.
Yeah, I think he moved and just like I don't know. As I said, I've got no contact with the guy.
Yeah,
My
see,
assumption
when
would
you
be
move,
because
packages don't get returned. When you move, packages get stolen because nobody lives there anymore, and they are delivered just fine. There wouldn't have been a problem. The world goes on.
depends on the shipping things. A lot of times in Australia,
Oh
the
shit! Yeah, if
postman will
nobody's if you don't
nobody's
sign,
home, yeah, you don't sign. But also sometimes they just drive past the house and they're like,
yeah,
"Sorry,
like
couldn't deliver,"
yeah,
and just
fucker's
drop
not
that.
there.
No, they don't even bother. Like, there's been
Yeah,
times
yeah.
where I've been home the whole time, and was at a place I had like the doorbell and everything like set up to go to the house, video camera, and you just see the postman just rock up, right? Sorry, we missed you, and put it in the letterbox, and I'm just like,
What the
didn't
fuck?
even try.
Yeah.
But yeah, so briefly went down the dark path of, well, what if I run it anyway? But then I was like, no, I can't do that. And then I looked at it and I was like, I actually fucking hate this yellow. Like, what kind of Allen's banana bullshit is this yellow? It's like, he was like, oh, it's gold. And I'm like, this is not gold.
Yeah.
It's not even pyrite. This is just, banana lolly yellow. So then I was like, you know what? Purple and white would be a great look. So I just went ahead with that. So then I accidentally fucked up the renders. So the renders had more keycaps that I posted on the group buy than I sent through to the manufacturer, and they were like, "Hey, do you want these extra keycaps?" So I think I paid like 2,000 euros to get a bunch of extra caps made. So everybody got more caps than they paid for.
Oh no!
Let's go.
But yeah, overall, good experience. Thank you so much to the guys from DC for walking my clueless ass through the process. I was like sending them random like DMs at like 4:00 in the morning, like, "Hey, can we do this?" And they were like, "Okay, I'll check with GMK."
Oh, that's awesome.
I did learn a lot doing that. I think that's one of the things that I enjoy the most is every time I've done something incredibly stupid, I've learned a lot from it. Mostly I've learned not to do that again. But I've learned a lot about how keycaps are made. I've learned a lot about how keyboards are made. Making stuff in Australia, I was able to get like a lot more insight into the manufacturing process. Like when you make stuff in China, you're so abstracted from it. You just like money goes in, keyboards come out. But like I was able to multiple times actually like come to the machining shop in Australia and like the anodizing place and the like plating place. Like go in there, see my keyboards on the machines, like see them dipping my keyboard, see all this, and I'm like, okay, now I understand the process of how it works. I think the only places that I didn't visit were the PCB ones.
I mean, for that,
because I'm not going to fucking Canberra.
Yeah, and it's just going to be huge fuck off rollers and pick and place machines.
Yeah, that's for the assembly ones. I was like tempted to go to the PCB manufacturer. But I was like, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't let me in because they do a bunch of military stuff. So you've probably got to have some sort of security clearance for it.
I can see you
no, actually, I think I asked them and they said, no, sorry, we can't let you in unless you have security clearance.
Oh, wow.
Because, yeah, they do a bunch of stuff for the Australian military. So,
yeah,
like boring shit. But got to not let people know that you use PCBs in your technology. Or something like that.
True. If they knew that you use PCBs, shit.
Yeah, everything.
They just get some ESD in there. Fuck your shit up, you know.
Intelligence agencies, stop listening. We don't use any PCBs in Australia. It's all hand wired.
Yep.
No, not even hand wired. It's hand cranked with mechanical everything. Like you think that those are motors turning the turrets on our gunships? No, we just have like a bunch of Tasmanians in there cranking it.
Oh shit!
Same with all the submarines thing. It's like you think that we have, electrically powered submarines. Nope, we've just got people on the bike.
In there. Yeah.
Yep. It's just like in the cartoons.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody knows
the Morse code is two guys like clapping coconuts.
Yep.
Just like Monty Python.
Yeah, all those engine noises is actually somebody just sitting in the back going. Yeah, there we go. I think we've obfuscated the trail enough. But yeah, I learned a lot, and doing the making of the keycaps, I have much more contempt for anybody who splits the numpad out now. The saving in manufacturing cost is negligible compared to the additional amount that consumers have to pay. Like the per key cost of adding a numpad is very little, and I'm just like, put a numpad in base or you're a coward.
Preach.
Yes.
That's what Simon's been saying, right, Simon?
Please.
Because like the Regal wasn't that expensive, was it? I think it was like a little bit pricey, but that base kit was so fucking big.
So substantial.
It was not pricey for what it was
Yeah.
the thing.
But
It was
like even for like
stupidly good value.
if you just compare it to a standard like 2 custom color keycap set,
basically it was the price of like, you know, like a middle of the road like keycap set with like basic kitting, except it had like an additional like 50 keys.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't expect anybody to like copy that because that base kit was a little bit too big for most people. But the idea behind the base kit was, if you buy the base kit, you can put it on basically any keyboard and have full coverage. You can do your Alice's, you can do some 40s. The 40s keys were added at the insistence of a red name, so a South Australian. And then I said, fine, I'm fucking adding the keys, and he immediately responded with, thanks, I'm not buying it. Which is the ultimate 40% attitude to anything to do with keyboards, it seems.
Oh god.
But yeah, I was just like, what would happen if I did this? I mean, even the cost of the base kit with all of the novelties included, that would have pushed it up probably about $40.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But a lot of novelties too, yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, with the novelties, like I like symmetrical keyboards, so I was like, if I don't want to have this weird scenario where I got one novelty on like my super key on one side and then a different novelty on the other one because I don't have it. I'm just like, no, I want enough novelties. But you know, now I've got just heaps of novelty sets. So
in the U.S., fucking Mexico was the U.S. vendor, but that's another thing. I want to ask you though, how did you get in touch with Aeric? Like, how did Keyboard Treehouse come along?
So I've known Aeric for ages. So that ages was my first interaction with Aeric. He was like, "Hey, I've got a couple of extra Aegises," and I DM'd him and said, "You know, I'll buy it." And he was like, "Cool." So I ended up driving to his house while they were in the middle of QC and just like picking up the keyboard, and that was 6, maybe 7 years ago. I'm getting old. But yeah, that was ages ago, and yeah, we've just remained in touch ever since, good friends. And then I was running that, and was chatting to Ryan, and Ryan was like, "Yeah, our manufacturer is like not stupid." And I was like, "Okay, hey Aeric, can I just run it through you guys?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So that's basically how it happened.
Yeah, wow.
It's much less formal in the Australian circles than in other ones, it seems.
To be honest, that sounds pretty much like anywhere else.
Yeah, you just DM and just like, hey, let's just make it happen, and then
let's do this project. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically how it came about, and then we ended up ordering 100 kangaroos.
Fucking amazing. And
I mean, I already had a lot of the bits and pieces for them pre that, so I had all the cases had been made a long time back.
Yeah.
And various other bits and pieces, so it was just putting it all together.
Okay, now the real question is, once Kangaroo's out of the way, when Emu ?
Well, so I've got a couple. Flashbacks. I've got a couple of other things that I wouldn't mind doing, but I'm going to be honest. Keyboard seems to just be very slow at the moment.
Oh yeah, especially for like, very
very niche stuff.
What's the word? Very absurdly large, expensive keyboards are.
Yeah.
I mean, like at most, like we can probably do like one project like every 5 to 6 months right now, and it like still be feasible, maybe. But we've got the 21XX in like June, July, which means like nobody can go again until like December.
Yeah, so for me, it's like there was the big keyboard rush, and I mean, I managed to miss that with the Kangaroo because it took me so long to get the plate done. Turns out there's a reason people aren't doing 4.5mm plates, and it's because they're really hard to get right. You can build it perfectly to spec. You can be like, okay, I built it to spec, I've got all the cutouts to spec, everything is going to be fine, and then it's just like random stab manufacturer from China gets super popular, and they've decided that the spec is more of a suggestion, and rather than 6.75mm wide for the stabilizer pieces, there's going to be 7.5mm wide. It's like, okay, those don't fit through my hole.
You know what fixes a lot of these problems? It's almost like there was a spec that like told you like how thick the plate was supposed to be. Shit. Somebody should have written it down somewhere. I guess it's just lost to time. We'll never know.
It's
Yeah, look.
almost as if some switches could omit a plate entirely.
I don't know why you'd want to omit a plate. The keyboard would be lighter then.
That's actually a good
You're
count.
giving
That is
up
a
a
good
whole lot of
counterpoint.
weight potential there. And that's the reason why 4.5mm plate is. That was also another thing. I was like, why aren't people doing 4.5mm plates? Like, it's more weight, and more weight is better. So I don't know why you would go with like all these thin plates. Though I did a 4.5mm plate, and I was like, oh
You're
man, that actually
killing me,
really
Jono.
sucked.
You're killing me. Dude, I just got married, okay? Stop it. Stop it. God damn it.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Stop it.
Or
Stop.
condolences, whichever one applies.
Yes, and
I think it's congratulations to him and condolences to Kate.
something like that.
Yeah, so basically it was a big long journey of why aren't people doing this? Oh, yeah, actually there's a really good reason why people aren't doing this. It sucks balls. But now that I've got those lessons, I mean, if keyboards takes off again, I do have some other stuff that I've got sort of in the pipeline. So the Wombat is obviously there. That's pretty much done. I could manufacture it right now. I've got I am getting an updated version of the PCB.
How bad is that thing going to be a group buy for the Alu version? It's going to be like what, like $2,200?
So my plan for group buy is, rather than running it through like a storefront or something like that, I plan to go right back to the original group buys and just do it as cheaply as I can. So I'm going to be like, all right, not take any money on top of the manufacturing costs, and just basically going to round it to the nearest $50 up, and then call it a day. So manufacture everything as cheaply as possible, like maybe even get the factory to ship direct to people if that's a possibility.
Mhm.
I just want and I reckon I could probably do it for under 900 USD.
Wow.
Holy shit.
That's value. And that would be dropping the 4.5mm plate though.
Thank you.
Shut the fuck up, man.
You could do it like
It's
one
a
of
huge
those.
fucking keyboard. It doesn't need that.
No, it
Bigger.
actually needs it a lot more than any of the other keyboards. And the reason is your
Mount points
sort
are
of-
so far away from
they're
the center
so
of
far
the
away
plate
from the center
that there is droop by default, which I like because that means I get flex out of it. You see, you think of the thing as a bad thing. I think of the thing as a good thing.
But the
Are you getting
sound
flex
is
though,
so
or are you getting droop?
Oh,
The
you can
sound-
always fix the sound. You can always
stuff it with
fix the
foam.
No,
No.
the fuck is wrong with you, Jono? No, we put in 4 24-volt solenoids. There's probably enough internal cavity space for that,
No,
right? We throw a battery in there. It would need to be like a lithium polymer battery that could handle
One
the
sec.
discharge required.
I mean, at that size, you could just get a Model S battery and bonk it inside, and there's still plenty of room around it.
More realistically, at that size, you plug it into the wall.
Just like Bitten
Yep.
Okay.
with his Battleship keyboards. Oh my god.
Alright. Here I have another Wombat.
Yes.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That case is so cool.
Behold, another.
These cases were actually really cheap.
Really?
Guess how much these cases cost?
shoot.
Customized. Did you cut the foam or did they cut the foam?
They cut the foam.
Was
This
it
is-
laser or was it hand?
CNC'd.
$76 at how many pieces? You said 5?
15.
Oh, 15. Lower?
Lower.
Lower than
$50?
Lower.
40?
Yep, about $40 each.
My god.
Oh my god.
Slight bit of pedantism. Laser is CNC.
No, because
It runs G-code.
there's actually foam in the bottom here. You can't see it very well, but this is a solid block of foam, and it's been CNC cut with an actual CNC, probably one of the just big flat CNC routers, but no, it's not laser cut.
But a laser cutter is still CNC controlled. It runs G-code.
Yes,
It's
but
used the same control as the CNC machine.
but you're being pedantic about something that has no meaning because I didn't say that this was laser cut rather than CNC. I said
You
this
said
was
CNC.
Precisely, by that logic, if I were to control this camera and tape a knife to it and move it around, that would be CNC.
That depends on how you run it. Do you run a G-code? Do you run through a proper numerical controller?
CNC machined with an end mill. Are you happy now?
Oh no, I'm very happy now.
Bastard. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
So here's the top piece. So that's sort of pretty standard. This is some of the stuff that you can see. So this is plated in Australia. You can see the internals not so great. Externals, fine, right? This is sort of like a matte black finish. So they actually had to hire back a bunch of people who had retired to teach their people how to plate it because they kept fucking up the plating. But yeah, so this is the top piece. All good.
For the audio listeners, Jono is showing us the Wombat.
I'm showing sort of a disassembled Wombat. This is the brass plate.
Oh my god, that's
so this is chrome plated. It's actually a really good plating and polishing job they've done here.
my god.
It's mirror finish, which is scrumptious.
Mhm.
Now,
can't wait for all like the
fingerprints
and hair and fingerprints.
Yeah, but that's
stab
like
lube.
That's
like
not
really mess with it.
That's not my bit. Like when it goes to you, it looks great, and then you get your fucking sweaty, filthy hands all over it. Just wear gloves. All right, and then this is the base. So as you can see, there is actually very little internal space for anything, because if I cut out more of this space, two reasons. One, if I cut out the stuff, it would be less weight, which is very important. It needs to be heavy. But the actual real reason is I have to pay more to remove material. So, and then I would have this huge like echo chamber under here. I could do it. Like, there's nothing stopping me, but like, there's zero benefit to doing that.
I disagree. I think that when you've got a big enough board, like a large board, let's say like
200%.
Like 96 and bigger, really benefits from having a larger than average cavity like underneath the PCB compared to something TKL or smaller. Like you really notice it with bigger boards. That boominess is very desirable. Like you want to go boomy without going rattly. So it's not like cut out all the material, but you like still want to give a little more than you like typically would in the chamber.
Okay. I mean, I would have to get a bunch of protos made to test that.
Yeah, it'd be a bitch to test.
Oh, really? I just get like 10 made with different sizes and then just swap the tops across. Like, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Or just get a carbide bit for your Dremel and just like try it out.
What the fuck, man? Do you know how long that would take? It's not a small amount of material. It's
just, bro, it's fine. Just hand CNC. People can hand wire. You can hand CNC.
Yeah, exactly.
God. Yes, except I'm retarded.
For those of you who are listening and are bad with accent, Jono is Australian. He can say lots of words that we can't say.
Oh, that's true. That's a bad word in general.
Do you
except in us?
Obviously, like us, Simon and I, as Americans, when we go to a different country, we sound like we have an accent. But have you noticed that the accent just automatically is like a trump card whenever you go to another country? Like all the women or men, they just flock towards you because of your sexy. You and Tank want to ask this question too.
Don't know. It certainly gives me a lot of leeway in America.
Yeah.
Because I spent a bunch of time doing consulting in corporate America, and corporate America is very different. So I spent a bunch of time there, and they don't swear in corporate America, which is like wild to me because like I swear all the time in the office, and I was just in there in the office swearing away. Like we'd have people at sort of like senior partner level be like, so what do you think of the status of the project? And I'd be like, man, it's fucking dog shit. You're not fucking getting anything you want. And they'd be like, oh my God, he's an Australian. He swore. Yeah. And it's like Like,
shit.
you know, if somebody's saying, I'm like, fucking hell, mate. They'd be like, aha, he swore. That's what Australians do. So, yeah, I feel like it gives you a bit of leeway because there's like an expectation that Australians are going to swear, and then you swear, and like Americans are like, yeah, he did it.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know.
Okay.
I've traveled a fair bit, but in general, it's been for work or
Yeah.
for a purpose. I'm a very focused traveler in general. So, like, I went on a 2-month ski trip, and I was just skiing or eating or sleeping. Like, I wasn't, you know, at the bar or anything. I was
Yeah.
just skiing, eating, sleeping, and then
I gotcha.
I did that for 2 months, and then came home. So,
So you actually went skiing, because around here, skiing means we go skiing.
What does that mean?
That is a code word for drinking.
yeah, in Europe, like, I suppose it's the attitude that I got in Australia, because in Australia, skiing is very expensive. So
Yeah.
that ski trip to 2-month ski trip to Europe, including flights over there and back, was the cost of like 3 weeks skiing in Australia if I didn't have a season pass, maybe 4.
Wow. Damn. So I'm going on a skiing trip. I'm going on a drinking trip.
Yeah, because they've got bars all over the place, and you know they party until the late evening, and you know there's all sorts of stuff going on. But I was like, this is like potentially a once in a lifetime opportunity for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm so busy with work all the time that the only reason I was able to take that is because I got really sick of my contract at that point, and I was like, I'm just so over this. I'm either going to quit or I'm just going to go on 2 months of holiday and see whether there's even a place for me when I come back. So I was like, see you guys for 2 months. I'm out of here.
And then what happened when you came back?
They were like, Jono, we've got all sorts of problems with Jira, and I was like, it's because you're not using it, you clowns. Yeah.
I have a question about the skiing, but I want to ask Tanghus if he ever uses his accent for evil or not.
What do you mean?
The thing is, it's already horrid. Like, it's the worst accent you can possibly have.
What do you mean?
It's absolutely the Danish one.
No.
It's really. I do hate it with a passion. Like, it's the worst possible accent anyone can have when they speak English. Is the
Counter argument.
No, I have
The
heard
non-posh English
hundreds
accents.
of types of accents that are way fucking worse, dude. Calm your tits.
But I mean, I've never really used it. Like, no one's ever really called me out, because basically fuck all knows where Denmark is. Like,
Yeah,
so I've always been like,
If you gave me 5 tries, I could probably get it. Like, if I had to pin
I
it
feel
on
like
a
it's
map.
cheating though, because you already know where he's from. So if it takes you 5 tries to get it after you already know, that's a bit of a problem.
Well, I mean, I know the name of the place. I'm talking like on a map,
Oh, I see.
like with a pin.
Oh, are we gonna try this?
No,
I
please,
want
no.
I want to see
Oh my
this.
god.
I'm
All
just
right.
kidding. Ah, god damn it.
Map of the. Well, how do we
I got
blank
this.
map of the world? Oh, you got it. Okay. And then I
Map
want to hear more about Tanghus.
With no country names.
Europe. Blank.
Rockstar and Duxed.
Okay, that one.
Okay.
And open a new window.
Oh, I thought you thought that was Denmark, but it's just opening.
Just do the you can have the outlines, I guess.
Well, yeah. Okay.
For the audio listeners, we're looking at a map of Europe.
Okay. That one. No?
Nope.
Nope.
So-
1 out of 5.
Shit. Okay. That one.
No.
2 out of
fuck.
5.
Can I interject for a moment and tell you, those were technically once Danish. That's a technical.
You're giving him hints now, but okay.
No,
So a 2 out
I'm
of
not
5.
giving a hint. Because a lot of places were Danish, and we squandered it.
Okay. Even though I know for sure it's not this one, is it this one?
No.
Okay.
That is famously where Darude Sandstorm was filmed, and presumably some other stuff happened in that country as well.
Nothing ever happened in that country.
And they
Don't
are
worry
very
about
famous for drinking vodka.
Does that country even exist?
There's a lot of countries that are very famous for drinking vodka. They're famous for drinking vodka and being wildly depressed.
Sorry, there's a lot of countries that's famous for drinking vodka and being wildly depressed.
That's true. It is a European thing to do.
Yeah, basically.
You got this, Simon. Sure.
Is it that one up there?
No,
Is that even a country? Isn't that just like a set of islands that belongs to one of the countries?
that's
For the audio listeners, so Simon pointed out Sweden and then Norway and then Finland for his first 3 guesses. I don't know what the fuck the fourth guess is.
Yeah, and then
that is Svalbard, by the way, if you want to. But
So- yeah, that is Norwegian, isn't it?
Fuck.
yes,
You got this,
Okay.
Simon. 2 more.
I'm surprised I got that.
What do you mean 2 more? I've made 4 guesses.
Yeah, he's on his 4th guess. Like
Okay.
he guessed Norway twice, but like, but I would understand guessing that second Norway.
You got this. You got this. I'm so excited.
Simon, why don't we play more GeoGuessr on stream?
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm actually really good at GeoGuessr because like based on like how a place looks, I can point out on a map where it is. I don't need to know like what a place is. I just need to know where it is. Like I'm actually pretty good at that.
All right.
Let's help you out. Oh no, I can't.
Okay. Final guess. That one right there.
Incorrect.
No.
It's to the left of.
Technically,
Sweden.
that a part of that was also Danish at one point.
Yeah, so if you go to the left of Sweden, that little knob, I believe, is Denmark.
Oh, that one.
There you go.
Yes,
Okay.
and also the islands next to it.
Yeah, true. There we go. Sorry
It
to
is,
call you out like that, but I always like to say that people like give me 5 tries, and I'm like, okay, I will.
Here we go. Now we love
I
you,
thought I
Simon.
could probably get it in 5.
I mean,
but then again,
are
it
you
would be the same
originally from America, or what's your country of origin?
If you're aiming for a punchline about the U.S. education system, you don't have to go for it. It's too easy.
That's true.
To be fair, I'm fairly sure like I couldn't place at least half of the US states.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
Okay, but
Iowa
like
and
most of
Ohio
the
is
US
the same.
states, it is like nothing fucking happens here. It's like there's
It's just
New
like
York,
border.
California,
Yep.
the rest of America, Florida.
Yeah.
Like
True.
the
None of
one
those
thing
other places exist.
like the one thing I don't really understand about like the US states is like why would you want to call your state Missouri? Like
It's not Missouri. It's Missouri.
Full of misery, though.
Ah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Oh well.
I feel
So
like
I'm
I'm
in-
and then I also know is that like Texas only has one okay neighbor, and that's about all the puns I can remember.
Is that Oklahoma?
Ta-da.
God damn it.
All right, so answer this for me, because I was introduced to, like, I'm not being racist, white people sports when I was in college.
Okay.
So like fucking hiking, like I mean, it's not a sport, like it's like
Yeah,
an
That's not a
activity.
sport.
That is a
Bouldering.
white person, poor man's midlife crisis.
Yeah,
It's just like,
yeah.
oh, I don't know what to do with my life. I'm gonna get into hiking or bouldering.
Yeah, bouldering, rock climbing,
Road bike, like
Yep,
bicycles. Yeah.
bouldering, hiking, bicycle, running, like just a bunch of really generic ass
Yeah,
activities.
yes. Like if you're really adventurous, they do mountain biking.
Yeah,
That's really adventurous.
I'm really adventurous, but I'm also really bad at it.
Oh my
I
God.
think I mentioned earlier, I went on a bike ride earlier. There's like a little mountain near where I'm at. And I was riding along and I found this huge fucking hill. And I've got a pedal assist, like electric mountain bike, but even with like on 1 and max assist, it was such a struggle to get up that hill because I'm unfit as hell. And I got to the top of the hill and I was like, oh, thank God, I'm never fucking doing that again. Go and ride around a bunch of the back things, first time there. So I was like, I don't really know where any of this goes. Come out at the bottom of that hill again.
I would have just gone home right at that point. I would've
Yeah,
been
you
like,
go
"No,
home
fuck
up
you,
the
Helen."
hill. It wasn't really optional at that point, but no, I made it up a second time, and then I was like, all right, I'm going straight home.
Oh,
but-
shit.
Yeah, I suppose some of those I would like. Bouldering is definitely like white person,
Oh, yeah, they're fun.
like popularity, but hiking I would say is just like it's just going for a walk,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's an everyone activity.
And
fact,
on that note, I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna go grab a drink. I finished my beer like I don't know how long ago.
Sounds good, dude.
But I don't even know if it's a sport everywhere else. But how about like paddle? That seems to be like all the craze here.
Yeah,
well,
like
Which is
kayaking?
no, it's like a dumbed down version of tennis.
Oh, pickleball! Fuck pickleball, dude. We call it pickleball in America. It's fucking
okay.
stupid.
I have to look up because I don't know if it's the same thing, but I would presume it is.
You get it's a bigger paddle, like it's a bigger. Fuck, dude. I'm trying not to rant here, but yeah.
No. By all means, like I want to hear.
By all means,
I want to hear about your hatred for pickleball. This is just like out of the blue. Just like violence against pickleball comes in. It just like here's the word, and he's just like, I am going to.
Here's another sport that, if you have a midlife crisis, to pick up fucking pickleball. Like, come on, just fucking learn tennis if you want to play a similar sport.
Or like if you want to be classy about it, badminton. But no, this is like tennis. Accessible tennis, which is basically you have to go on and buy an expensive fucking specialized bat, which is basically a dumbed down, looks like whatever you buy in a toy store. A worse foam ball. It's all indoors. It's on again, because they can't agree on a standard-side court, so it's one of the others, which is like, if you want to make it fucking accessible, just like, we just need a net in the middle, and here, take whatever bat and ball you can bring. But it has to be specialized because we have to earn it. And then, like, every fucking industrial area around here will open up with like,
pickleball court. Yep.
Here's a paddle court.
Yeah.
And then they fold within like 6 months, and they go like,
and somebody else is like, oh, there's no paddle courts around here. Well, I guess there's an opening in the market.
Exactly. That is basically, and such is the cycle of life.
Oh, God. I mean, and again, we're making fun. I'm making fun. If you like pickleball, that's fine. It's my fucking opinion.
I mean, let me put it this way. There's a bunch of sports that I'm like, I don't like it. But if you're doing sport, that is so much better than not doing sport. Like, I did nothing for a long time, and at the end of it, I was just like, this is so fucking rough. And then I went and did gymnastics for a while for some reason, and that was incredibly rough. I thought it was just going to be like easy jumping on trampolines and stuff like that. Turns out jumping on trampolines is actually really hard, and also all the other stuff you have to do is really hard. Like, walking on your hands in a handstand, really, really difficult.
Yeah.
Like, look.
This is gymnastics.
Nice. I never actually, I'm not going to say never. I have yet to injure myself to the point of like a broken bone or like a scar or something. One of the people that, hello cat.
Hello, Ham.
Oh.
I think one of the people that I was with dislocated their shoulder in one of the sessions, trying to do like a round off or something. They did it like slightly incorrectly and screwed themselves over. I had like several strains that took me out for a couple of weeks, but overall, like, no broken bones or anything. But I didn't do any of the bars or stuff like that. We just did.
I was just gonna ask, like, did you learn the rings and stuff like that?
Learned a bit of rings. Not able to do a crucifix. Like, if I could do a crucifix on the rings,
that's enough.
Like, I would be unbelievably fit. There were like 2 people in the class who could do the crucifix, and they were just wildly fit. Mostly what I did was like, just the standard front flip, back flip, handstand, walking on your hands, a bit like that, and the various fitness exercises.
Oh my God. Ham, get off my desk. Oi, get off my desk. Get off my desk.
For the audio listeners, Ham was on Simon's shoulders, and I guess he started netting. He started making biscuits on your skin, or what?
Yeah, he was like clouding there real deep, and he's real smelly, so I didn't want him there.
Wow.
Can you pronounce that word again for me?
Which word?
What is it? Netting?
What? Netting.
Netting. Kneading?
Kneading.
Oh, kneading.
Kneading. Netting?
Yeah, you need the dough. You don't need the dough.
Ned. I heard it. I was like,
dude, I can't use words. I'm like, oh my God, I'm American educational system. Here you go. It's a skill issue. But my question was, so the skiing. So eventually, I was able to go with my roommates, and we went to an artificial hill, and I wanted to do skiing. I wanted to try, but everybody was doing snowboarding, so I tried snowboarding. Oh my God, I almost killed myself, and I shut down the entire ski resort area. So you go up the lift, right?
Yeah.
And you have the snowboard attached to one foot, but not both feet. And at the end of the lift, you're supposed to kind of just gracefully get off the lift once you're at the top of the mountain or the hill.
Yeah, you just pop your back foot on the board and go down.
I didn't know what to do, so I just yeeted myself off the hill, and they stopped the lift for like 5 minutes, and then I got a talking to. But my question is,
get down, dude,
have you learned both skiing and snowboarding? And if so,
yes.
Is skiing a lot easier? Because I feel like it would have been a lot easier than like.
I couldn't figure out skiing. I can snowboard, but skiing wouldn't make sense to me. It's because I skateboarded, so like it translated in my brain real easy.
So as somebody who has done both, I would say that skiing is easier to get started with if you have no other prior transferable skills. So if you haven't surfed or you haven't skated before, because you have the 2 points of contact with the ground and they can move separately, so you can sort of widen your stance if you're feeling a bit rough. Whereas with a snowboard, you either look cool or you're dead. There is no middle ground. Crashing hurts a hell of a lot more on a snowboard, because on skis you'll just kind of go over onto the side and then slide down the mountain and it's fine. And on a snowboard you'll catch your front edge and all of your forward momentum will be transferred into you face planting into the snow with a lot of force.
I mean, if you're good enough, you can try and like fight back and basically just slide on your ass the whole way down. But honestly, that's not much better.
Yeah, but the thing is, so it's sort of like difficulty curves. So skiing is easier, and then it gets sort of a lot harder over time. Snowboarding you'll sort of plateau in difficulty earlier because a lot of the difficulty is in picking up the basic moves, and then it doesn't change a lot. Like, you have more efficient ways of doing things. This is sort of from what I get. I've only snowboarded a little bit. Whereas with skiing, it's things like there's a lot of differential in how you got to position your skis and how you got to position yourself, like how you've got to move, like keep the skis parallel, jump turns, a whole bunch of little things like that mean that you are going to be learning basically your whole life on skis. But snowboards look a lot cooler. And it's a lot easier to look very cool on a snowboard than it is to look cool on skis.
Yeah.
But it's also, I don't think that I would ever have the balls to go as fast on a snowboard as I have been on skis. I just feel like they're not as stable at high speeds.
Yeah.
Have you? How fast have you been, Simon?
Yeah, you too.
What? No, I have no comments at this time. I have no snowboarding stories.
I'm going to tell you, this is my boast.
It's too late at night for me to start like reminiscing about falling on my ass a lot.
Yeah, no,
and getting hurt.
I've done a lot of skiing. I don't know if I've ever. So when I was in Europe, sort of towards the end of it, there was one particular run in the Val Gardena area that I was able to, for one day, just like basically point my skis down the slope and go. So I got the Garmin watch that tells me how fast I was going. I got to like 129.4 according to the watch, which was the fastest that I've ever gone, and it was absolutely terrifying. I do not recommend doing it unless you're a lot better than I am, because I basically had to like scout the whole slope.
Was that in leagues or furlongs?
That was in kilometers per hour, which I know that you're not familiar with.
Oh no, I'm very
It's like
familiar.
a mile, but less.
Exactly.
But better, yeah.
1.6 of them make up a mile. So 130 kilometers an hour is round about 68 miles an hour, ballpark.
It's a good question, actually. How fast is it?
Or 70. It might be 70.
I don't know. The miles makes no sense to me. 130 kph2. It is 80.
Ah, okay. My bad.
Yeah. So that's about as fast as I ever want to go on skis.
Wow.
It was an absolutely terrifying experience.
Just
a lot
blur
of fun. It wasn't necessarily that it was blurring. It was more along the lines of you have to have very good visibility, because it's like, I do not have a stopping distance. I am not going to be able to slow down except by wind resistance until the point where I get,
all the conveniently placed spruce that's like 10 meters to the other side of.
Well, no, there was like a huge run, like a huge wide run out at the bottom that I was able to just like, I basically tucked in, and then I got to the bottom of the hill, and I was just doing this to slow down for a while until I got to more reasonable speeds, and then I slowed down. But it was it was very much a make sure there is nobody in any vicinity because I will not be able to stop or steer very well.
Wow.
Very dangerous. But I'm proud of my achievement.
Yeah, you made it.
And I'm never doing it again.
Oh shit. Tanghus, do you have any stories or words of wisdom for someone that wants to learn skiing or
absolutely not, because as I did entertain you about, like, this is pretty much like one of the flattest places on Earth. I've never gone skiing.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say he's been to all of Denmark's highest hills for skiing. All one of them, which doesn't have a ski slope on it. It's just like a little...
the area I live in has like a decent, like, what do you call it? The angle of the hills, but basically they're all short.
Yeah.
And basically we get zero snow because living on a peninsula basically means you get coast climate everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's pretty limited. That, and I basically have the grace of an elephant. So I wouldn't combine well with skiing. The other part of skiing, which is again skiing, I was immensely good at.
Yeah. That's the best part.
Yeah,
I feel like I'd be really good at that skiing.
Yep.
I think I can really figure that out.
We got to go on a skiing holiday.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes.
In the Alps.
So here is a question.
No, you don't want to go to the Alps if you want to go skiing. Here, I would personally recommend going to somewhere like Austria. Yeah. They are really good at skiing.
Italy as well.
All right, I'm down. I feel
Italy,
like
Italy's also a very good place.
Highly recommend
skiing.
Italy over Austria because Italy is vastly cheaper.
Yes. I don't know, but I feel like in Austria, you'd be able to get like, I don't know, all sorts of like gear and like improvements to your skiing abilities, you know?
Gear is kind of meaningless. Yeah, you just rent it. It's only when you're
talking about hard drugs.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So I wouldn't know anything about that because I only do the other type of skiing where you put planks of wood on your feet and don't kill yourself going down a hill.
I mean, I'd only do this.
Yeah. What were you saying, Jono? You had a question, or you were going to bring something up?
No, and I was going to say, I mean, if anybody does want to learn skiing, just go do it. Just go take a lesson. Like, absolutely take several lessons. Actually, it's no finger quotes. Like, genuinely, skiing is a lot of fun. It is an expensive hobby, though. So I mean,
yeah,
it's pretty accessible though.
If you're in Europe,
you can do like whole trip. Yeah, true.
It's accessible in Europe. It's expensive everywhere else because Vail Resorts went and bought all of the ski fields and then made them hideously expensive. I mean, in Australia it was just always expensive because Australia tax. So you just pay a whole bunch more money here for no reason.
Yep. I mean, Simon had all the chances to go skiing where he lived before, but
it's true.
In Dubai, it's true. Yeah,
don't they have that indoor ski slope?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say,
5 minutes away from my house.
I feel like if Dubai didn't have an indoor ski slope, what would even be the point of Dubai?
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
I do have a question. I have one final question from myself. We were talking a little bit about kebabs earlier.
Dude, the food scene in Australia is like wild. Like back when like Rama was like had the bird in the cage and all the marbles were in the bag. We talk and like I talked to him, I talked to like other boys in the Australian community because believe it or not, like in pre-COVID, I was strongly considering leaving Dubai and moving to Melbourne.
Wow.
But like everybody I talked to that show me like the dankest fucking like Middle Eastern food there is so good.
Australia has a very high quality of food. It is like even I've traveled a lot in the US and a lot in Europe, and I've done a lot of eating out. But there's just the default quality of food in Australia appears to be just higher. Like, yeah, you could probably get higher end, like, you know, Michelin star stuff. But if you're just like going out to a random place and you're just like, fuck, I want this kind of food, and you just like look it up on Google Maps and you find a place that's like 4 and a bit stars, you're like, all right, whatever. In Australia, it'll generally be really good. Yeah. Whereas in America, I often had it and I was like, this is like shit.
Bro, the food in the Midwest fucking sucks.
Yep. We got pork tenderloins and Costco.
Bro,
and
like
hot dogs.
we've been out to eat like a few times, and everything will either taste like nothing or like oil.
Yeah,
I'm just like, wow.
Yep.
I fucking hate this.
Oh my goodness.
Though we went to a nice Mexican place that like actually like had like actual like Mexican, not like American Mexican.
I think our Mexican here is worse. I've heard.
Yeah, and American Mexican generally is very good.
Yeah, because you've
what
got like
is Mexican?
Yeah, Mexico is like right there, and they all just come up and open restaurants. But Melbourne, especially for food, is like it's like the food capital of Australia. So I surely one day I will move there. I've been saying I'm going to move there for like several years, and I just never have.
Yeah.
I got to just make it happen at some point.
I want to hear from all three of you, and I can start first to give all three of you a chance to think about it. But just give me a fun drinking story, like something. It could be hilarious. It could be just wholesome, something really funny, because we were talking about how after a hangover, what's better than a kebab, right? And also, Simon, State Fair food coming up, so maybe there'll be some good things, which is also full of oil and like bad things because there's nothing else.
Yep.
But so for me, what I remember the most is what a lot of Americans remember is the 21st birthday, when you can legally drink. Not that you can't drink before, but when you can legally drink. There's not much to do in Iowa.
Really?
Especially in Des Moines. There's a lot of corn, but yeah, so
fuck yes, corn.
Yeah, corn and growing families. But so my funny thing is just the 21st of I don't know what to drink, and I'm just gonna go up, and I was with a bunch of coworkers, and they took me out downtown Des Moines, where all the bars and everything were. I ordered my very first official legal drink was a White Russian. Yeah. Because I was like, I want to be cool. I want to be like the Big Lebowski, right? I'm going to get a White Russian. And then I mixed that with copious amounts of other different drinks, mixed drinks, wine, beer. It was way too much. Eventually, the night was just kind of like zooming in and out. I was at somehow I was in a women's bathroom. Like I distinctly remember opening the bathroom door, and there was a black lady sitting down, and she was yelling something at me. Obviously, it was my fault because I was fucking drunk. I went into the men's bathroom, and then I peed all over this guy who was there already. Like he was about to punch me, but my friend saved me. Like I just pissed all over the floor, all over his shoes. Like he was using the toilet. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I was just like, I'll just use it beside him. But
this is unprompted, by the way. This story.
No.
He just like comes. He's just like, let me tell you about the time I just peed on this guy's shoes.
Yeah. So I was just wasted. I remember I was at a pizza place, and I was just like drifting in and out. My face is hitting the piece of pepperoni pizza in front of me. Shit like that. Eventually, I remember crawling up my driveway like a cat and telling my friend the garage code to open my garage so I could crawl inside. All this to say, the thing that saved me in the morning, I had to do a 5K. I was supposed to do a 5K with coworkers the next morning, and the only thing that saved me was the smell of coffee. And for me, maybe like a good kebab that soaks up all of the alcohol and shit, or drinking Pedialyte or some shit helps people. The smell of coffee for me is the ultimate hangover cure. So it was just, I don't know why. I don't know if you guys also feel the same with coffee, but if anybody out there feels the same or ever wants to get a little bit of coffee, don't forget that one of our sponsors is Jay's Roastery.
Fucking shit. You little... Ow! Oh my God.
Segue.
I'm so upset.
That's a true story. Everything I said is true. All right, real quick.
He woke up from his hangover and was like, and now a word from our Throwing up into the toilet, just like coffee.
Until the end of June, go to Jay's Roastery. I'll have the link in the description of this video. If you're international, email Jay first. I'll link the email down there. But coupon code Flamingo for 10% all of your coffee orders. And Jay's a fucking good lad. But I legit want to hear about, just a funny drinking story. And
dear listener, please remember that drinking is not a prerequisite for enjoying Jay's coffee.
That's true. That's true. You don't have to be hungover.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody wants to go,
I suppose I can go. Just on that, by the way, if you want to have less of a hangover, because you won't avoid a hangover, we got this thing in Australia called Hydrolate. They're like these rehydration drinks that you can have, like the effervescent
It's
tablets.
got electrolytes.
It's what plants crave, but it's got a whole bunch of other stuff as well to basically help you get hydrated. And I found that if I just have a couple of those at the end of the night and then 2 or 3 big glasses of water, I will have much less of a hangover than if I just had the water by itself. I'll still be fucking ratted the next day, and it'll still suck, but it will be less bad.
Believe it or not,
argue that
boys
water
and girls
does a lot of the groundwork.
What's that?
I would still argue that water does a lot of groundwork.
Water does a lot of the groundwork, but it's more efficient.
Your body struggles to actually use it without the electrolytes. Listen, I have a foolproof, 100% functional, fucking guaranteed or your money back method to not have a hangover, and that is to be under the age of 25.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think that any of us qualify for that anymore.
Yep.
It's an expired offer.
That's the secret. Somebody told it to me once, and I was like, fuck. I wish I knew this before I was 25.
Or, let me hand it to you, the foolproof way is get up at the tree where you fall. If you're hungover in the morning, basically go out, get a repair kit. So typically something like a small schnapps or something like that, and a beer. This is how you should start out. Start at the tree where you fall. Start drinking again, and you won't be hungover.
Advice from an alcoholic.
Absolutely.
See, I've tried that. I've tried that so many times.
Boot and rally.
Where I'm at the I'm super hungover and I start drinking, and it just makes me more hungover.
Yeah,
I've tried. It doesn't work.
When I'm hungover, I cannot even stomach the thought of another drink. I'm just the thought of it just makes me more.
I don't know, I don't know if it's been if it was a fun night and it was all good vibes all around, and it's the next morning and it's still the weekend, and I don't know, you have something with orange juice in the morning, not vodka, fucking champagne or some shit, bubbly, whatever.
Mimosa,
That's all right, or a Bloody Mary, something that's breakfasty, but that's all consume. After that, you pause until at the very least that night, basically. Yeah,
I got you.
it makes it a teensy bit better,
Yeah,
because there's still enough alcohol in your veins to just adding that additional amount gets you to feel it that little bit more, and you're just hey, this isn't so bad.
Yeah.
I've got some drinking stories, nothing quite as wild as yours, Hubert. That was
I have a lot of inappropriate ones that I can't say on air, but I will say when we're not recording. That was
yeah, but I mean, I guess I've never. I don't know. I'm not going to say I've never been that drunk, because I have been very, very drunk. I mean, the drunkest I ever got was, I think it was at a New Year's party. I know that I by myself drank 5 ciders and a whole bottle of whiskey. At least, and that's when I stopped remembering what I was drinking. But there was very little alcohol left in the morning, and I remember at one point in the night, one of my friends who was there had a big buffy head of hair. It wasn't an afro, but it was big, and he was sitting in front of a light, and I just remember I was sitting there, and all I could see was this big hairy monster in front of this light, and I was like, "Is this where I die?" And then he moved, and I was like, "Oh, it's this Cal." And then I ended up passing out on the grass outside. Because in Australia, New Year's is hot. But yeah, I suppose not much in the way of funny stories. I mean, I did have an interesting time when I was in the Czech Republic for work. I was in so their city is Prague, their capital city, and then they've got additional suburbs that are just like Prague with a number after it for some reason. So they're like, this is Prague 4, and it's like, okay, like it's the same city. Like, why couldn't you just call it, like, I'm sure you've got plenty of words in your language. You don't just need to have city name number as like your suburb, but whatever. Yeah. So I was in Prague 4. It was like a little, like, there was the office, a shopping center, and a train station to leave to a better place. And a couple of little places here and there. And we were not going to be cooking because we could get reimbursed for all the food that we were eating. So like, all right, we're just going to go out and eat every night. And there was a place nearby. It was like a little family restaurant style place / pub. They didn't have an English menu that was up to date, so they had an English menu, but they sort of brought it out and said, you can't eat any of the food on here because we don't make it anymore. And I'm like, okay, cool. So give me the Czech menu and I'll just pick something at random off it. And it was all, sort of Czech food. So it was like, bread and meat, or like pudding and meat and all that sort of stuff. It's very solid food, like potato and meat. So all that sort of stuff. But they had one guy there who was like a cocktail guy. So they had like, the standard cocktails on the menu. He made the strongest Long Island iced teas I think I've ever had. So how it's like, good. How it's like, a couple of shots of white liquor and then they fill it up with Coke because Western people are cheap when it comes to drinking out. When he made it, it was in a tall glass. It was like white liquor almost all the way up to the top, and then it was like just a of Coke. That was it.
Oh my God.
It was still tasty. He'd like mixed all this stuff, but God, it was strong. And he'd just like make random cocktails for me. I'd come in and be like, a cocktail, and he'd be like, what kind? And I'd be like, what do you want to make? And he'd be like, I've got a new recipe I want to try. Just throw something together. I couldn't understand a word he was saying because he spoke very little English. I didn't know what the cocktails were, but they were very nice.
Oh, that's amazing.
I ate and drank there for many nights. That was back in my more alcohol tolerating days. I'm a lightweight now.
Same. Yeah. Yeah. Simon and Tanghus, you got a good one. Oh, and I'll also just say, so my dad is German, and I've also stayed in Italy for an extended period of time just on holiday. Something that seems to work really well is walking a good distance after you drink, like before you go to bed. Like there's always like a 20-30 minute walk after the bar to go to the hotel or wherever you're going. And that, especially in Europe, for me, like that was beautiful. Just walking it off afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, just letting the air hit your face for like 20 minutes will do you some good, usually.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's all you need to just snap back.
No.
Just take in some of nature.
Give me a good story, Tanghus.
Yeah, I can see Simon's assistant. So basically, coming from a background in the trades, my youth is nothing but drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially. I wouldn't say I have a lot of fantastic stories because I do have a lot, and basically it's another Sunday. I mean, I can entertain. Back when I finally finished my apprenticeship, and we were at school. So basically, we were a large enough class that they had to split out exams over two. I dread exams, so I was lucky. I got on the first day, which was on Wednesday. Basically, we had the exams, the Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday we had all the translocation, etc. So the guys on the Wednesday exam were like, yeah, we're done. We can go drink. And the guys who were on the first day, some of them were coming along.
Yeah.
Basically, we'd go drinking on a Wednesday. I don't think my car left the school parking lot at the time for like a week because it was a case of me coming to school, park it on a Wednesday, go in and have my exam, and then like every time we'd go out after, either we'd stay awake the whole. So basically, what happened was the guys on the Wednesday were like, we should go celebrate. I mean, we should go with the guys tomorrow, but we can also celebrate now, which is fine. We did. Went down to the local pub, which, fun enough, in Denmark, like alcohol is cheap. Also, like suspiciously cheap compared to like everywhere else in Europe. especially also when you consider like the cost of living. Like beer is a dirt cheap beer. If we go to the small pub, basically come in like 10, 15 guys, go in, buy a crate of beer, sit down, play some dice, drink one crate of beer, go to the bar, order another.
Yeah.
It's real bad when the bartender goes like, yeah, we're raising the prices here from whatever, I think it's like 5 or so when the other schools are getting off.
Yeah.
And they go, well, but if you keep buying crates, you could get a regular price. So I think we sunk through like 2 or 3 crates of beer. Like a crate of beer has 30 beers, and we were like,
oh my god,
I think we were like 10, 12 guys.
Yeah.
That was a rough week, and like at least 5 of them had to like do the exams the next day
again. Yeah. Oh,
so that was pretty rough. So that was a case of go drink on a Wednesday, go back. I slept in the car. Had a short travel to school that day. Went back in, supported the guys who were doing the exams because we had to stay around for some reason.
School things,
basically. They finished with us on the exams on Thursday, and like now everyone were done. We basically had to go drinking. So rinse and repeat the day before.
Oh my god.
And also that's a case of like more than one state slept.
Yeah.
I do believe I have pictures from one of those shit-faced. There's a suspicious amount of pictures of me being absolutely shit-faced. Anyway, Thursday goes on. Everyone goes through. We get through. Friday comes. You basically have a transcription. You're getting your paperwork, and your boss is there. Here you go. You're now a tradie. Here you go. You're now Sparky. But you're done with the Friday. Now you got the paperwork and your electrician. You might as well go drinking again. So that was 3 days straight. And there are some people that were looking mighty great, going like, nah.
No,
we were still like still like half the class on the Friday. Yeah, that was rough. But basically, that's welcome to Denmark, and we the drinking here is, it ain't really partying in the spirit of like. I've been traveling a lot to the UK, but it's a kind of different drinking culture there. Also traveling as a technician, basically. Like if you're staying overnight or staying somewhere for training, a lot of time is like the best way to bond with a fellow technician is drinking.
Yeah.
It is the great human lubricator.
Absolutely. It brings out the best in all of us.
Yes.
And the worst.
So good.
I mean, it lowers the inhibitions, and a lot of people have hang-ups about making friends with people and being open and honest, and then you get 2-3 beers in you, and you're like, you know what? I don't think I need any of that stuff. I'm just gonna like talk and yammer on. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's, what is it like? I think it's Homer who's like attributed in The Simpsons. He's saying like, alcohol the cause of and solution to all of life problems.
And again, guys, we're not advocating like getting blackout drunk and shit like that.
No.
We all have funny stories.
Don't get drink, boys.
Actually, I will advocate for it once.
Yeah.
And I recommend do it in a place with trusted people.
Yes.
Like people that you know and absolutely trust. Not like, a bunch of people you vaguely know. Just do it at least once, because that way you will have get them to like take videos of you as you get more drunk. So that way you will know what you're like as you get more drunk. And it will mean that you can, because some people just have absolutely no idea what they're drunk, right? So they think, I'm the funniest, best person ever, and it turns out they're actually a sad, crying drunk. And it's like, okay, man, about 3 drinks, you're a happy guy. 4, 5, you're crying. Like 5 drinks, you're like, why won't you take me back? And it's like, dude, you never even had a girlfriend. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, but she won't take him back.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the case. She can't. But yeah, I would recommend it, but also, like, don't do it all the time because it sucks. But yeah, once,
also
trusted place, safe place, trusted people. That way you know what you like, and you also can feel the inebriation coming on, and you know how many drinks it takes to get you drunk, because some people also don't know that. And they're like, oh, I'll just sink 4 shots to start the night. And it's like, dude, your limit is 4. Like, you're gone at that point.
Yeah.
I would say, though, like, alcohol is more of an emotional enhancer. So if you feel bad going in drinking, you're going to feel bad while drinking. So
it's like League of Legends. If you're feeling bad, don't go play League of Legends because then you'll feel so much worse at the end of it. If you're feeling good, also don't play League of Legends because you'll feel so much worse at the end of it.
Exactly.
One of the big upsides of switching to Linux is League just doesn't work. So there's no more like League client installed on my PC, and it's like, man, I just feel like shit today. I want to go.
Is it because of like their incredibly intrusive anti-cheat? Because like I'm sure like a virtualization layer would be real easy. Like you can
I mean, look, it's possible, but I can't be bothered doing that. So now there's no League client just sitting there where I'm like, man, I'm just feeling really like shit today. I just want to go on a 10-game losing streak to feel so much worse.
You know what works great on Linux? Balatro.
Oh no!
I've got that on my phone.
I still haven't figured that out.
Oh no, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Okay, why is it wrong?
Yeah,
because that's the device you take with you into the bathroom. Okay.
Yeah, and my legs go numb, and I'm like, yeah, okay, my legs are numb, but I'm like got sock and busker, and I've got like.
Oh, dude's committed to a full run while sitting on the can. Let's go.
I mean, I wasn't committed to a full run, but then I got like a pecker and a sock and basket, and I'm just like, ooh, and some other decent jokers, and I'm like, you know what? I can make this run happen. And then, and then
you're being rushed to the hospital for lack of blood flow to your legs. Got it.
But worth it.
You don't do that, Simon? Like when I sit for like 10 minutes, I lose all, like, it's all jelly down there, like my legs.
I am.
Are you just like, go in there, do your business, get out?
Yep. Speed runs the bathroom.
I'll be on my phone a little bit, but like I'm all right.
All right.
You know, I don't need that much time.
I feel like the bathroom is like the last place where nobody's ever going to expect you to have a conversation with you. I feel like everywhere else you're expected to be at least somewhat available. Like, somebody can message you or something like that, or somebody can just like come up and start a conversation. But the only conversation that goes on with somebody in the bathroom is, are you going to be in there for long?
Are you done yet?
But if you've got your phone, then you've got everybody else on the planet that isn't physically there with you in the house that has no idea that's going to try and contact you anyway.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I just like don't take my phone. Sometimes I just leave it out there, and I'm just like, you know what? This is just like, it's time for a meditative, contemplative experience.
See,
like,
that's what you.
It is a zen pond.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm just gonna go in there. I'm just gonna think about life. It's just like nobody can contact me. It's like going out into the wilderness, but much more convenient.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I take my phone into the bathroom, and I play like whatever videos at a reasonable volume, just so my wife never hears me take a shit.
What a gentleman! Imagine if Kate does the same thing.
Just be more aggressive with that shit. Just like let everybody know that there's some serious gastric distress going on in there. I ate so much chili last night. Like
the issue is she's gonna be worried and be like, "No, we got to take you to the doctor." Okay, let's go. I'll be like, oh, "Fuck."
Yeah.
Simon, you got a funny drinking story to bring us home before I do the good keyboard friend of the week, and I'll go to bed. All right, that's fine.
Simon the Clean never had a drink in his life.
All his drinking stories were really, really bad, and he's a horrible drinker.
Okay. First of all, what? Second of all, I will tell you the story about how me and my friend discovered Canadian Kool-Aid.
Oh, okay.
So this was when I was young, and we were both young, and we both went to a place together. and we were both of legal drinking age.
Of course.
So we were just hanging out at my friend's place playing fucking PlayStation. We were playing Enter the Matrix.
Yes.
That should give you ballpark the time period. And we really didn't know what to mix with the straight vodka. So we just found packets of blue Kool-Aid and just poured it directly into bottles of vodka. And if you put like 2 or 3 like little packets, it's enough to like sweeten it enough to where like it doesn't really taste like vodka. It kind of, it tastes like a syrup kind of. And so I think we drank like pretty much a bottle each of vodka without realizing.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do, stupid shit like, oh, I'm going to backflip off the wall. And we were in the basement where the ceiling was like that high. So the second I went in for it, I got some elevation and my face hit the ceiling and I immediately fell back down to the ground. So that was not fun. What I do remember is taking a cab home that day and having no idea of where I was going. And I don't think I even once told the cab driver where to go. And I passed out until he woke me up. And we were like literally like one street away. And I just like grabbed a bunch of money and walked in a random fucking direction. Needless to say, Canadian Kool-Aid, whilst delicious, is pure alcohol. So consider drinking a little bit of water or mixing with a little bit of juice or something, all right? What I'm saying is don't mix straight like Tang powder or Kool-Aid powder into vodka. It's a bad idea.
Oh my God.
I will say, it seems like a very common thing that as soon as you get a couple of drinks in you, you think you're a lot more physically capable than you are. It's just like all those things, which is like your brain telling you you can't actually do this. So you take a couple of drinks and you're like, yeah, but like I've never tried it. What if I could?
At that time, I could backflip off a wall.
I see.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was all about parkour before parkour was cool.
Oh, I see. And then it became cool, and you're like, I'm never fucking doing that again.
Oh no, I don't know.
So you were tricking and stuff? Like you did tricks? Like
I was just fucking weird, dude. I wore a trench coat and did weird shit all the time.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it.
What a cool guy.
Yeah, I'm not giving you guys any further information.
Hey, that's okay.
And I'm going to be honest,
I don't think we need it.
I've been considering like a long leather coat. But every time I think about it, I'm like, there's no way that it will look good on me. Like, it looks good on those guys in the Matrix. I am not like that. Not built
just
that
get a
way.
duster. Just get a
The
duster.
problem is
shirtless duster, jeans.
I think one of the major pitfalls that people like fall into is going too reflective on the leather on a long trench coat. It's got to be very light absorbent.
Yeah.
You can't have that shit be reflective. That's like important point number 1. And then 2, like the clasping or assembling can't be like absurd.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, there's a guy actually near where I am at the moment. He's like maybe 200 k's away, who does like handmade leather jackets. And I've been eyeing it up for a while. That was also one of the things that I was considering for the Kangaroo.
Are you thinking above the knee or below the knee?
I don't know at the moment. I think I'd want to like, if there were like blanks that I could try on where it's like, let's see what this looks like. I feel like because I'm bald and white, below the knee would be like maybe where I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at the moment it's just I'm just tossing up the idea, and every time I think about it, I'm like, yeah, no, I'd probably look really silly. And also, when would I wear it? Because like I'm in Australia, so it's so warm here all the time. There's basically never a time where it would be appropriate, temperature-wise.
Right. If there's anybody out there that is in the duster or trench coat business and lives in Australia, please send Jono a couple samples.
This is very important. We need the pictures for Photoshop memes.
Oh God.
Oh shit. But yeah, I appreciate all 3 of you for being here. I will get to the good keyboard friend of the week segment, unless anybody has anything else they want to say. But Before I do that, I just want to say again, thank you, Jono.
Okay, wait.
Yeah,
Last question, Jono. Yeah. What is your favorite large vehicle? Like when I use vehicle loosely, like space shuttle, like fucking train. What is your favorite like large like mechanical object? You don't have to go in depth. Just like tell us what it is.
I would say a tunnel boring machine.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, God,
those things, like, if I could right now drop all of my like high-paid consulting, all that sort of bullshit, immediately, never go back and like go to work on a tunnel boring machine,
and just dig like 3 inches an hour for the rest of your life.
I feel like this is like a man's romance. It's just like, okay, I could do this sort of like meaningless job, dig big tunnel. That would be so cool. Like there's like every time YouTube is like, hey, do you want to watch this video about how they dug a tunnel? I'm like, yes, absolutely. I will watch a 1 hour and 50 minute documentary about digging a tunnel. And every time it's the same shit, and it's always awesome. It's like, we've got this huge machine that digs out the...
I am of the strong belief that instinctively there is something in our programming, because if you go to the beach and start digging a hole and leave 18 shovels next to you, by the time you turn around, there's 19 guys digging a hole.
Yeah. When I was a kid...
Every time.
When I was a kid, we had decently sized backyards, and I would dig a hole in every one. I would just, like, by hand, I'd dig out, like, a cubic meter of dirt, and I'd be like, this is my hole. It is the best thing in the world. And then now I'm older. I live in an apartment. I don't have a backyard. But yeah, if I go to the beach...
What you're saying is as a child, you invented Minecraft. If you dug out a cubic meter of earth.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't an exact
You held
cube.
it in your hand.
Oh, yeah, no, I picked it up and put it in my pocket just straight away. But, you know, now even when I go to the beach, I'm like, I reckon I could build a sand wall to keep all those waves out. I could conquer the ocean. Yes. It never works, but it's so much fun in the time that I'm trying it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's great.
That's what it's all about. Like, there's many reasons why we have this podcast, but one reason that I love is that it's just a way for us. What was that?
It's to dig holes.
It's to dig holes. It's talking about digging holes. Yeah. Stanley Yelnats, whoever wrote that book and filmed that movie about holes.
Jono, the one with fuck, what's his name?
I don't remember. You're talking about actor?
Yeah, actual cannibal.
Shia
LaBeouf, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, he was Stanley? Oh, he must have been Stanley Yelnats then, because he's not the black guy.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I was going to say, Robert Downey Jr. would say otherwise.
Yeah. Whoever created that whole idea, Jono deserves his royalties now. But it's just a hangout. Like, we get up and we talk about stupid shit. We talk about keyboards. We talk about digging holes. We talk about things that we like to talk about. We're just shooting the shit. We're just having fun.
I love digging holes.
Yeah.
So here's the question.
Go for it.
When will there be an outdoors version of this podcast and you're all just digging a hole on the beach?
Yes.
With like your wireless headsets on. Tanghus is like, I'm flying over there right now. Let's make it happen.
Which beach should we go to? We've got to come to you because
we do have the best beaches in the world in Australia.
Australia's all about digging holes.
Nice
into the
try.
nature.
Nice try. That's where all the fucking spiders and the fucking snakes are. And, you know, if you think America's unsafe with somebody coming around the corner with an AR-15, you're going to get a kangaroo coming around the corner with a fully automatic spider about to take your fucking wallet.
Fully automatic spider as opposed to a manual spider. Hand cranked. It's the same Tasmanians from the submarine just cranking the spider.
It's a gas-repeating spider, like an AK.
Look, here's the thing, right? Americans are all like, oh, Australia's got so much dangerous native wildlife. Like, it's fine. Like, I had a funnel web, like, just living above my bed for a few years, and it was cool. Like, all it did was just, like, it ate the mosquitoes, it ate flies, it just chilled in its web. Wasn't a problem. Like, similarly with, like, snakes and stuff, like, we had red bellies, we had browns, like, they just come into the yard, you just, like, stomp around and they fuck off. Like, the only times that people... like, in general, that people get in trouble with the wildlife in Australia is mostly tourists who for some reason come over to Australia and are like, look at this thing that is brightly colored. I am going to fuck with it. And it's like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, we don't have the ability to save you if some of these things get you. Like, and admittedly, it's also like far north Queensland. The jellyfish situation there is kind of wild because it's like, yeah, you can't see that shit and it'll just kill you.
See, if you let an Australian talk enough, he'll just keep adding until he eventually gets to like, yeah, and then there's Godzilla, so you gotta like steer clear of the West Coast.
No, but
but Australia's still real nice, I promise.
No, but like you come to like the Sydney area, like any of the city areas, you're gonna be basically interacting with none of the dangerous wildlife, and we actually have fantastic beaches in our cities. Like people meme on Bondi Beach because it's a bit crowded, but that is actually, like, comparatively speaking, an incredible beach to anything that you'd find in America. I reckon I would probably put Bondi right up there with the best American beaches, and then some of the other beaches are just fantastic. But yeah. Like I'm not much of a defender of Australia, but I will go to bat for Australian beaches because you guys don't know what you're missing.
Fuck it.
You also got Courage on a can. You got Victoria Bitter, so like I don't see an issue going anywhere.
I got VB long neck, boy.
Exactly, yeah. VB long necks. Like if you need that, you don't have to worry about the wildlife, and we can just stay digging the holes. No problems.
Oh
like,
shit!
Couple of crates in the back of the ute. We go out somewhere like the desert seems pretty desolate down there. We can dig our hole there, all in peace. Videotape the whole thing. There won't be any mobile connection anyway, so we have to like go back and cut it and edit it anyway.
You don't want to dig a hole in the desert.
No, we don't.
Two reasons, I would say. One of which is the sand there is different to beach sand. It is a lot like finer.
It's
so
very fine.
It's going to be
issue that's the issue that Dubai had. So like all the sand that they use for construction is actually from Australia because the Dubai sand is too fine.
Yep. So that's the first problem. And the second problem is there's no opponent in the desert. So if you're building like a sandcastle on the beach, you've got to build it in like the area where the waves are just like coming up to where it is, so that you can like have that battle with the ocean, you know, the manly urge to fight the sea. But you can like build your walls out, and then eventually the waves will come in and destroy it. But it's like it's not just like boring. So there's that. So and there's also the water at the bottom. So like when you get obscenely hot in the Australian sun, that is actually the one thing that most people who come to Australia don't realize. The sun here feels very different. Like I was in Europe, I was skiing, and I was like just on the slopes, and I wore like very little sunscreen because the sun doesn't feel hot. In Australia, the sun feels harsh. Like you'll walk into the sun and you'll be like, oh, that's going to burn me real quick. And
but that's the thing, like around here, the sun is real harsh, but it doesn't feel harsh. So that's what traps people around here, especially.
Yeah. So, but you definitely feel it in Australia. Like it feels like it's burning you the second you walk out into it. You like put your hand out, you're like, oh.
Wow.
But you have the nice water at the beach though, so you just go hop in the water and don't realize that you're burning.
Well, we'll visit you because that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'll show Simon around all of the dangerous animals that there are here.
See, I have what I consider to be the very natural human reaction.
He's a Southern Australian. He's the worst of them all.
Which is, if I see an animal that is not friend, I kill it. Especially if it is in my house or around my house. Like we had like a major like insect problem. The keyword there being had. I found like I found the shit that like professional what's the word? Professional companies use for exterminators use. I set that up. I bought like a hand operated thing, sprayed everything, did multiple drain treatments with enzymes that like dissolve anything that's living and turn it into just like water, and then for good measure poured in like pure concentrated that you're supposed to dilute 1,000 to 1 poison down. No fucking survivors. Okay, it's just like, oh, the spider is cute, you know, it'll help. I'm like, no, nothing fucking lives, okay? If I let the spider live, then I have to let the other shit, no, everything fucking dies, okay? Like, if I have a property and there is a snake on my property, that snake is fucking dead. I don't give a fuck. Like squirrels,
I'm pretty sure it's illegal to kill the snakes in Australia.
Well, sucks to be you. It was self-defense.
But like, it's not even self-defense. Like, I have the closest I've ever come to being bitten by a snake in Australia was when I stepped on one of the eastern brown snakes. That probably would have been really bad because that one's really venomous, but I just kind of didn't get bit, so.
What a guy.
Yep, dude's not even like tasty to snakes. He's
yeah,
a superhero.
I know. I felt like, in hindsight, it was just like, man, really, you're gonna do me like that, snake? Like, not even a little nibble? Am I that unappetizing? It's just like, fuck, man. It's like your whole thing. You bite people, and then you go to me, and he's just like, I'll pass, man. Not feeling it.
Yeah. No, I had delicious people for lunch.
Yeah, it's like it's like if you like go through an area populated wholly with cannibals, and they come up to you and they're like, you're like, something wrong with me?
What's wrong with
I had
me?
a white guy this morning.
Yeah, it's like, oh, so he was good enough, but there's something wrong with me. It's just like feeling a weird sense of like.
No, my wife's been cooking white guy all week. You can't fucking stand it. Well, at least let's get some Mexican food.
Good kebab.
Oh shit. Well, speaking of kebabs, what better way than to share a kebab with a good keyboard friend? And even though I haven't had a kebab for a long time, I feel like sharing all these stories, having a blast, 2 hours of our fucking time just like that in an instant. It's amazing. Like, thank you, Jono, Simon, Tanghus. Thank you for just taking the time out of your day and doing this.
Thank you, Hubert, for also doing this.
Hey, man.
Thank you for hosting.
The Good Keyboard Friend podcast is just all about good friends who may have met through keyboards, getting together and just hanging out. And that's why I really love the Good Keyboard Friend of the Week, because we get to nominate basically anybody. If anybody has a nomination for someone that's done something nice to you or for the community, send those nominations into us. We are going to read every single nomination that you send. If you send something in, make sure to include things that you don't mind being read on air. So like any personal details you don't want aired out, don't include them. Message any of us on Discord, me, Simon, Tanghus, James. Go to hugemeatbox.com for all our links, and it is safe for work. I guarantee it. hugemeatbox.com. But yeah, send us your nominations, because every week at the end of every episode, we nominate someone, one of those nominations. And I know it's kind of a cop-out, but I want to nominate Jono. And
wait, that's illegal.
Yeah, I feel like I already got like the biggest shout out of all by getting invited on this podcast. Like, can't get any more shouted out than that. You don't need to double it up. They don't stack.
Well, yeah. Well, Jono's just a good guy. I mean, you've heard through this episode of just how fun of a person he is, how nice he is, what he does to the community. It's no lie. He has offered Simon, like, do you want this? Do you want that? And, you know, Simon's been cognizant enough to be like, hey, I want it, but I don't want it for free.
I don't want your bullshit, Jono. Keep that to yourself.
Oh, no, it's quite the contrary. It's like, I know it's going to arrive, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to afford the $5,000 and be able to keep this because I know I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
You could have it for free, man. I don't want it back.
Look at this.
I don't want it.
This guy would give the shirt off his back to someone, and
no, because then they'd see completely untanned torso.
That's entirely true. His shirt is right there on the wall, confirmed. Just hung it up today.
Huh? All right. But yeah, Jono, thank you, dude. Thank you for being a good keyboard friend. The things you do for the community, running based projects. If something goes wrong, like on accident, you give people extra keys for GMK Regal. Like, who the fuck does that? Versus someone like, oh, I made a mistake. It's not supposed to have this many keys. No, you just be like, hey, fuck it, I'll fix it. I accidentally send the render incorrectly. Like it's the little things as well as just how you are as a person in general. Anyone that's interacted with you, they realize how fucking awesome of a person you are. And thank you so much for just being a good lad, being a good keyboard friend to us, to the community. And yeah, we just want to say we really appreciate you and your time. And with that, I'll pass it on to you if you have somebody or more than one person that you want to nominate as well for a good keyboard friend.
Yeah, well, thanks for that. That one's going to be a hard act to follow up on that. Now I'm feeling a little flustered now. So I'm going to sort of give a specific shout out and then a generic shout out, I suppose. So specific shout out to, I guess, to Aeric. He has been very sort of on board with things, helping me get the Kangaroo going, helping me with quality control, helping me with Simon's free product guide. So there's just an overlay that keeps popping off on your thing, Simon. It's like, yeah, want a free product guide. Yeah, and he's been really helpful in like supporting me with getting all of that stuff done. I also want to give a huge shout out to all of the DC crew. Fatty, Dean,
Fatty is
Dan
fucking spectacular.
Yeah, Fatty, who scammed me with the $400 GMK Phantom. I still remember that. But I mean, at the time, that was like below market rate for it. So, but yeah, they've been, yeah, keyboards used to be stupid. They still are, but they used to be too.
Yeah, but now they're stupid in a new way.
Yeah, now everybody wants the cheapest thing possible. But yeah, huge thanks to them. GMK Regal never would have happened if it hadn't been for the immense amount of support that they gave me, and just answering all of my stupid questions, helping me out with making sure that my renders were okay, and that I actually knew what I needed to have to do the color checking. By the way, if you're ever doing a keycap set, buy the color samples. Do not hold up your key against the monitor to color match. Buy the color samples. They're not that expensive.
What do you mean? It's accurate, bro. It's accurate.
The fucking aneurysm. I was at GMK Bread, just like holding up the sample against the yellowest monitor in the world, looks fine to me. But buy the color samples. Like the specific ones you can get, they're not that expensive. And it will be a huge help. But huge thanks to every single one of them. As I said, GMK Regal never would have happened if not for their help, because I just had no idea what I was doing.
Awesome. Well, from all of us at the Good Keyboard Friends podcast, on behalf of Jono, Simon, Tanghus, James, and myself, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.